Hey everybody, and welcome back to Isyour6covered. Appreciate you showing up. We got some beanbag couches in here, so we got that going for us. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm in the studio area trying to figure out, see all that shadowing in the back? That's just not cutting the mustard, so we'll have to figure that out. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I can't read the comments from here, but before we get started, did go to Walmart today because I was picking up a few other items, and the old guy there said, I'm like, man, there is no ammo here at all. He said actually we got a box of 22 long rifle. So Blazer being low to mid-grade ammo, 22 long rifle. This is 38 grains at 12.35 feet per second. But just having any ammo, might as well pick it up. So the price was decent. It was $26.97 before tax. Then it was $28.79 after tax. So 525 rounds of some cheap CCI Blazer ammo, 22 long rifles, better than a sharp poke in the eye. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Let's see what we got here for comments. When does the big screen get installed? I see X-Rings out there. What up, the Scotsman? Let me see what we got. When does the big screen get installed so we can read the comments? Actually, it's so I can read the damn comments. Brian Duchesne, Tim Cook, Carcane, and who else out there? X-Rings out there. But having a good time. Bought these little beanbag chairs with a back for I think it was like 30 bucks, 35 bucks at Walmart, Wally's World. Finally got something to sit in around here, which is nice. Talked to Matt P today. Matt P came over today, dropped off the Night Force. This is the ATAC R7 to 35 by 56. This is in a spur mount. This is a beautiful, beautiful, expensive, highly expensive, but very nice setup here. This is going on, he's actually going to put this on, what's he putting it on? CZ something, but he's for that 22 long rifle match. So we got that going for us. So it's kind of a good thing. He's going to get a chance to utilize this. This is the Boris, I can't remember which reticle this is. This is the, that is a bright light over there. But anyways, so we left that so we could put it on some stuff. But pretty excited, pretty excited. I got some Sandsock gear. We talked a little bit about bags yesterday. And as far as we know, we looked up online, someone had commented and said that Sandsock was going out of business. Well, if you go to their website, it doesn't look like they're going out of business at all. It looks like they're actually selling a lot more items than they were. These are great, great bags. They're very light, so if you got to carry these for a long ways, awesome bags. This is the cryptic pattern on this one. They got quite a few different patterns. They come in a set of 3, or you can buy them separately. It's got some rubberized wear stuff on the bottom and on the tops. It does have a type of where you can put it around a gun or whatever the case is. And give me a minute, I will get up. I'm feeling lazy, so I can't read your comments. Having a good time. Some of the things we were messing with today, I was messing with today. I'd watched an article, can't remember if it was an article or a YouTube video. So on some stages you'll see a rooftop, and depending on the angle of the rooftop, and me and X-Ring kind of going back and forth on this one, when I had seen the video, or it was an article and seen a few pictures of it, it looked to be very stable. And what I'm talking about is on the back of a Ruger RPR has a Picatinny rail for like a monopod or something. But if you put this in the back, so if you have a roof that's like this, you don't need a bipod up here because then you're just going to be shooting into the stars. So you run like a really small bag And then you got all this void space over here where you got to fill it with either bags, which most people will do, and you'll see most people shoot like that. But I was kind of having some fun. The Ruger does have a Picatinny rail on the rear. So I was like, well, what if you were to do that? Now, I don't know if this would be tall enough. The pictures that I saw, or the video I saw, I can't remember what it was, the roof was only about at an angle like that. So it wasn't too crazy. The roof prop that is at VOD is more like this, more of a 45. So I think what Ray is saying is right. This won't be able to reach low enough to hit the roof. But for stability, I was messing with it over there with the rifles. And when you run a back bipod like this, as goofy as it is, it really stabilizes the rear of the rifle. I mean, like, you're like, damn, this thing's like concreted into the ground. So we'll be using the Atlas bipod. Great bipod for sure. Love the bipod. But that was some of the things I was messing with today. So there's actually quite a few things we've been messing with today. And who do we got? Yeah, let's see here. Let me jump out here and see what you guys got. Obviously, I flipped the camera the wrong dang way. We got Joaquin out there. We got Daniel. We got Reb. How you doing? Eric's out there. They actually cleared him to drive now and started him back on real food. Oh, that's his dad, I think. That's good to hear. Conservative sniper hunters out there. The crazy Scotsman. Let's see. Orion fixers out there. I need to go all the way up. Man, you guys typed a lot of stuff here. Let's see who the first one was. Richard Stevens. How are you? We got Commando 97 and Going Ballistic. Andy Nelson. Still ain't seen an email for your free hat I'm going to send you. If you did send me some, I don't know if it went to the wrong spot or not, but definitely give it another try. Rick, does your mother know what you do with that tone? What did I say something bad? 45 Auto, Ramsey Country's out there, Card Cane, Doug B, Thriller Rob. So hopefully I got everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And let me scroll back to the bottom. What the hell, Brian says?
What is up, everyone?
Jason Hunt's out there. Howdy, howdy.
I have my bowl of soup shirt on today.
Oh, damn, you're flannel man again.
That's right. It's cold out there.
Are you guys going to video the shooting match? We're going to try. I don't see why not. We're on the same squad, so we should be able to get...
There's 4 of us that know each other, so I'm sure between the 4 of us,
we
will get some video.
Mm-hmm.
Flannel Fred.
You got to share the comments because I can't see them.
Yeah, I actually thought about... I don't know how smart this is, but I'm actually thinking about trying to run the Tacticam on a couple stages. I think there's supposed to be 10 stages, maybe 12 stages, and I'm thinking about mounting it up to the rifle and trying to shoot a couple of stages with it on there.
That'd be good. No recoil, really, so you should be all right.
Yeah, not really so much worried about the recoil, but just getting the eye relief right. I think it would be good footage for you guys to see, you know, on how small these targets really are, but I'm a little indecisive on that right now.
I did not know. I am so anal when it comes to screen stuff. Like right now, the wood's not all the way in the middle. The middle. And I'm like, that's driving my ass bonkers right now. I'm gonna fix it. Sorry. Why is that not working? Your ass needs to go to that or something. Huh.
Well, at least you have chairs, and we're not sitting on.
Oh, it's centered.
On buckets.
Almost. Yeah, we are.
Uh-oh, John Crowderman. I love the bean bags.
We got the bean bags. It's got a back on them.
45 Auto said we settled on Korean flannel daddy.
Korean flannel daddy? Yeah. I like that. It's pretty good looking.
My wife hates it.
Well,
she absolutely
it's kind of a
hates
Halloween one.
She said Halloween.
Yeah,
That's
it's an orange and black. You should have wore that, what, last week or some shit? A couple weeks ago. You would have matched up. What do you think of my big score and my blazer?
That was actually pretty good. I'm surprised I didn't get a phone call where I could go get some, but that's okay.
I told you earlier.
After I got here, you see how it is, right?
Hey.
How many competitors will attend the match? Any professional shooting? I think it's capped off at 50 competitors. It is completely full at this point. I don't know. I don't know any of the NRL / guys, so who knows who's going to show up, but I know it filled up pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're going to go there. We're going to have a good time. And that's all that matters.
Wife hates it, all the more reason to wear it. I do wear this shirt a lot, so.
Maybe it's like subliminal, like to make her crazy or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? But it's all good. It's a good looking shirt. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time. I've really kind of embraced this 22 rimfire thing.
You're out of control.
I guess that means we are getting old. You know, I used to always make fun of the older guys. Not make fun, but I'd see them out there shooting their little 22s, and it sounded all cute, and it was.
There's nothing better than shooting 22 long rifle.
I know it's fun, but you know, looking at it now, where you know you're shooting 300-400 yards, and it's awesome. It really is.
It is fun. It's an enjoyable day at the range. You can carry 525 rounds in a box this big, compared to a truckload of 6.5 Creedmoor or 6mm Creedmoor. So that's always good.
Andy Nelson says he sent you 2 emails today. Not sure if they went through. And I apologize for looking down, but this is the only way we can read the comments because the camera's too far away.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll have a screen right there, and we'll be able to read the comments right off the thing. Right now I'm waiting on Wi-Fi. So when you move, you got to wait for them to come and hook up all the stuff. Right now the house has nothing. It never had anything. And so they'll have to bring that coaxial cable into the box over there. And then from there, Crowderman's got it hooked up. And then we're good to go. We got wires hanging up there that you can't see. Got a bunch all over the place for TVs and all sorts of stuff. So
your Galotech might be in this week.
The Galotech, yeah, for the gun wall.
It might be in this week.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
This week? Meaning like there's
maybe
only a couple days left.
Yeah, like tomorrow or Friday, it could be here.
Nice. Very nice. What we got? Silver Fox, what the hell?
What is up, Silver Fox?
How come you have no shadow? You're like a freaking Dracula.
Vampire, I have a shadow. It's right here. See that?
Yeah, but that's, look at this one. See this shadow? I could make
It's called lighting, Rick.
I can make puppets.
I don't like the camera angle. It's almost too relaxed.
I like it. I could take a nap. Commando 97 says, what does he say?
He's a ninja.
He's a ninja. He is a ninja. Why is mine so much brighter? The hell?
Anyway, so I was trying to think of some topics to come up with, and you know, one of the things came up today. So when I videoed the first rimfire match that I shot, you know, the like NRL style, there was a guy that had what they called a cheater bar. Okay, and I don't know if you guys watched that video, but basically when the stage started, they had a tank trap. And what he did was he just reached up there and placed the cheater bar up there, and now he had a support to shoot off of. And
let me grab the cheater bar.
I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. I'll go ahead and be the board holder. And I don't know how I feel about it, but it is something, it's a tool that somebody used. So on a tank trap, guys, you're always going to see one at a PRS match. And so let's pretend this is a tank trap. They're usually going to be made out of 4x4s. And what they'll do is they'll say, you must shoot between these 2 marks right here. So we're going to pretend that there is a there's some paint right here, and it'll usually be, you know, some fluorescent paint.
And you got to try to figure out some way to stick your rifle.
Well, the problem is when you put your rifle on there, it slides down. And unless you're going to grip it, now you're tying up your support hand. What this guy did, and this is something that Rick just made in a few minutes here at the shop, and basically the guy reached up there and he placed this thing on it. It's called a cheater bar. This has a little spike. Don't use that scope.
No, I'm just going to put it up
But
right
basically what he did was he just reached up, he placed this cheater bar on there, and then he placed a little thin bag, and then now you could put all the pressure you want on this. I mean, you could put a substantial amount of pressure on it. And he had a rest, and I was like, what the heck? You know, because here we are, we're shooting off of this, trying to hold it, and our rifle's trying to slide down. And he was able to get in position. And they had a couple positions to shoot off of this long tank trap, and he just lifted it and moved it.
See, and here's what it looks like. You can see the little spikes in there. Those are just wood screws short ones. Johnson's 22 competition, something.
So Rick actually made this, and I think he's probably going to take it to the match. It will be something. It is that tool in the bag. But it got me thinking, everybody hates gamers, okay? You go to a match and, somebody's trying to think outside of the box, and typically the rules are if they don't say you cannot, then you can, okay?
It's a saddle.
So, yeah, this guy had that thing hidden in his hand, and everybody that was with him ended up using it. But it's a tool that he brought along with him. So I think, if it means the difference between getting a point or two and being up in the top, I think it does make a huge difference. And why wouldn't you have that available to you?
Well, and that's the thing. If you have it available, why not use it?
Correct. But on the same token, I know that when we were out in Utah, one of the things I noticed from most of the pro shooters is that they didn't have a tremendous amount of gear. They did it on skill.
Yeah.
And their skill sets were finished enough that they could make these shots from awkward positions using nothing but a game changer and occasionally, maybe a larger pump pillow. And that's about it. They didn't take 15 bags out there and have all of these other accessories and accoutrements to make it happen. Not everybody runs a Sky bipod that's $800 or $1,000. But that being said, there were quite a few of those out there. But a lot of the guys,
There was a lot of
especially the ones that finished in the top 10, a lot of them used them, but there were quite a few guys that were just using a Harris or an Atlas. So ultimately, it's going to come down to the shooter, as it always does. But
I think most I saw was Atlas, but a lot of Skybox.
yeah, I think if you're going to get into the game, try not to get so caught up in the equipment. Spend the extra time and energy just working on positional shooting if that's something you're interested in doing.
Well, remember the father and son when we were in New Mexico? And he was shooting just a normal stock AR-15.
Yeah, with a regular wraparound handguard, like an A2 style handguard. They were just there for fun.
Yeah, he could have used some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can get it done. You can tell there was a lot of things being able to be the RO for them, each time for the day. But
I think for them,
he was
they
having fun.
didn't care how they finished.
They
were
there.
actually just enjoying the weekend.
Yeah,
And there's something to be said for that.
which is cool. For sure.
I'm not going to say I'm any less competitive, but as I've gotten older, I'm not really chasing that anymore. I want to do well for myself.
Yeah.
But anymore, it's just going out and having a good time.
Well, it kind of depends on where you're at. Like if it's your first match, you're not expecting it. You're there to have fun, to learn from the experience of being there, and just try to gather that information. And
yeah, I mean, I've had to eat a little bit of crow on this because, when we talked about this about a year and a half ago, I said that's just something I would just never get into. And ironically, it is something that I enjoy. I want to do more of it next year. I think I was actually having a conversation with quite a few guys today. I think I'm going to do less 3-gun, especially with the way ammunition is. Being able to go to a match and shoot, shotgun and 9mm and 5.56. You're going to see, I think, a huge decline
and expensive right now
in matches. Now, those of us that have shot competitively all these years, we've got a lot of stuff put away, but you don't want to just burn through it. You can burn through a lot of ammo within a season.
Well, especially with who knows what's going to happen right now.
Correct. And so with rimfire, I think, and of course that stuff's not cheap, but it's an alternative without having to.
Well, most people will be fine with this stuff. Guys that are shooting competitively, there's not as many people. There's a lot of people wanting 22 long rifle, but just to have fun at the house.
Yeah.
So trying to find the other stuff will be it's still very tough, but it's going to be a little easier, I think, because people aren't going to want to spend the money for the better 22 long
Okay.
rifle.
So while we're on the topic, we have 53 people in the chat.
Let me see your phone.
No, because somebody commented it was the most rude thing, actually holding and looking on the phone and doing this, and I agree, it does look bad. So I'm just glancing down.
Who was that?
I don't remember. It was on the chat last night. So I'm going to try to refrain from holding the phone and looking down here because that is aggravating. That aggravates the crap out of me. No. So this is the thing. We have 53 viewers on here. How many of you guys shoot competitively? Whether you feel like you're competitive or not, but shoot competition shooting sports.
Where you're paying entry fees.
And how many mills for 400 yards with 22?
It's a lot. It's like 23 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to depend on what rifle, what ammunition you're shooting, where you're at, but you are going to be somewhere in that 20 plus range.
Yeah.
You'll probably run out even with a 30-minute of angle base on there. If you have a 30-minute of angle, you're probably going to run out and might have to hold the last mill or so. I think I was at 400 yards. The CZ455 shooting Lapua Center X, I was holding 21.5 mils of elevation with a 30-minute of angle base.
You know what's more rude than looking down at your phone?
What's that?
It's not being able to answer people's questions.
Well, I am answering them. So there wasn't many comments coming in. So I see I do 32, 29. Oh, that must be the likes. Only club matches, yes. I want to start PRS.
It's a fun adventure.
I was doing IDPA until they shut it down.
Yeah, all this COVID crap.
Club matches.
Chico! It looks like Chico. Is that Chico that just texted?
Ray Yarberry says he'd like to, but he'd like to take a class first. And guys, I do get a lot of emails about when I'll start the classes back up. Not saying to attend mine, I'm just saying it's just with this whole COVID thing, it's just been a mess this year. So, you know, maybe things will resume next year, but honestly, I doubt it. I think it's we're going to see less matches. A lot of matches were canceled pretty much the first half of last year. So I don't know what's going to happen on the competition side.
Well, it makes it tough because it sounds like COVID's got a big spike going, so everything's kind of going backwards right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up with...
And there's no ammo.
And there's no ammo. Pretty soon it's going to be pellet guns and wrist rockets, I guess.
Brian Duchesne asked, what are some good 20 to 30 MOA rails to add on to a rifle? And if you're talking about rimfire, the only one that I've been using has been that Area 419. I'm not plugging that for them, but I'm happy with the one that I have from them.
That's
one
for
of
the dovetail, though, right? That one Area
it clamps onto the system, onto their dovetail on the 455, or it will do the 457. You can order it in either a 20-minute of angle or a 30-minute of angle base. It does have a level built into it. I don't recall the price right off the top of my head, but it works for something if you've got to get that 30 minutes,
or
which you're going to need it.
You can get the scope mount as well.
Yeah, or you could go with something, well, you know, that's not going to be an option like a 455. And this is one of the things I ran into, guys. So this spur is going to mount on top of a Picatinny or 1913 rail. Well, the problem is the 455 had one of those little thin pinch clamps on it. So you've got to put a rail on top of that. And then by the time you add the spur on top of that, now you're really starting to get up there. And it's one of the reasons why I changed the chassis out, because it was a wood stock and I was having to
definitely
shoot off my chin, basically.
Yeah, it was too high.
All right.
I don't like this whole rude thing.
Eric says, I shoot steel matches. So a lot of competitive shooters, but just trying to see where everybody's at with it. It seems like a lot of guys are wanting to get into PRS or long-range shooting. And there are more and more places that are opening up, around here anyway, that have long-range capabilities.
That's the nice thing about where we live. If you were to go an hour pretty much in any direction, you could probably find a match. Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between, not so much just one discipline, but between them all, you could go shoot USPSA, you could go shoot steel matches, NRL 22 long rifle.
Yeah. I know I can do major. I was looking at the PRS schedule. You can do from North Carolina, you can pretty much hit like 3 or 4 different major club matches or even large matches within 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Like Virginia.
You got like Pig River, wherever that's at. You got Kentucky.
Tennessee.
You've got Tennessee. There's quite a few that have some large matches.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Les? I can't read your comments. I just saw your little logo there.
Who was it?
Papa Les.
Papa's Place.
Yeah,
Says got to drive 5 hours plus to a range that's 1,000 yards. They just opened up a new one up here that is open to the public, but they charge $20 an hour, and it is out to 1,000 yards.
Now, what do you guys think about $20 an hour? $20 an hour. The way we shoot, it could get very expensive. Like, I like to, we're trying to do YouTube, so we're setting up cameras and all that crap. You basically got, if you're there 4 hours, probably 3.25 hours is maybe shooting, and you got basically 45 minutes of just getting crap ready.
It's almost not even making the drive, in my opinion, if I can't spend 3 hours on the range for long range.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like $60. I don't think, as much as we shoot, it would suck to spend $60 every damn time we went.
Yeah, plus the cost of the ammunition. Because you got to remember,
And
when you're doing
fuel.
long range, if you've got, let's say two of us go and we go to long range, we're not both shooting at the same time. It's different than going to some other type range.
Like a pistol range.
You're trying to keep the rifle cooler. You're not just running repetitive rounds. You're going to have somebody spotting for you, looking for splash or trace or something like that. And that just takes a lot more time, and it's less time actually on the gun because you're helping each other out. It'll make the day a lot more enjoyable. I rarely try to shoot long range if I'm going to be by myself. Not that I can't do it, but if I have an issue, it's hard to spot your own trace.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, 3 hours is a good time frame.
Well, you figure right now it takes us an hour to get there.
Yep.
If we go to the one, an hour to get back, so that's already 2 hours.
Out of your day, yes.
So if you're gonna shoot less than it takes for you to drive, that's just sucks. That's just almost a waste of energy.
Conservative Sniper Hunter says he's hearing some ranges are actually doubling their prices to shoot there.
See, and I think they're going backwards when it comes to that. You're gonna have a lot less people shooting. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing it, though.
Yeah, we have Larry Palmer says he pays $100 per year for 1,000 yards. Larry, are you still shooting the match this weekend? I think that was who was shooting the match, wasn't it? Larry Palmer?
I can't remember. It could be. It sounds right.
And the closest range to me is indoors. It costs $17 a day. I don't shoot indoors. I'm done with that. I'll shoot in Rick's backyard.
You gotta remember though, these people are from all over the place, so they could be in 5 feet of snow.
Yeah, that's true. I do get it. It's just with my issues in the past with lead contamination and everything else.
Yeah.
I've pretty much had to give that up. That caused a lot of health issues for me, and if I have the choice, I will not be at an indoor range.
If you have the choice, obviously you're not going to do it.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I don't even know if we'd sign up for a match anymore that's indoors. Like
Darren says the only range in North Dakota is 30 minutes from Bismarck, and it's members only $200 a year, but you can only go out when it's open.
See, in North Dakota, in my mind, I think I've been to North Dakota once. I thought it was like open. There'd be like places you could shoot all over the place.
Yeah, San Miguel, no heater in the basement yet in the man cave. Yeah, Rick actually has somebody coming tomorrow
to look at it. Or to see, I have to get a quote on a mini split. So tomorrow the guy's gonna come. I still got to figure out the dang door, and I got quite a bit of stuff to do still. It's looking really good. You guys have seen it, how it's progressed, but there's a lot of stuff that's still got to happen. Hell, just painting the drywall and all that stuff has to happen. First, I got to sand it all, and I don't really want to do that, so I got that going against me.
Yeah. So yeah, on an indoor range, I can see where they're charging, $20, $25 an hour because of the cost of the filtration system. We actually looked at a range a couple of years ago that we thought about purchasing. We looked at the area, we looked at saturation, and it was a dying range.
I think most ranges make their money on ammo.
Yeah, you're going to make it on ammo and accessories, but you're going to make a lot of money on range time, but it costs a lot to do it and do it right, especially with OSHA inspections. for lead, making sure you got lead abatement mats, making sure you got the backstop, you got to clean that. It just gets very, very costly. I don't know if people realize how much an indoor range costs.
Have you guys ever been down an indoor range? Like when we used to set up the IDPA matches, you'd be amazed how much powder that's not burnt is all over that ground.
Yeah, at the end of one day of shooting, there is a pile of powder, and you can actually ignite it. You have to use special vacuums. You can't.
It is a mess.
You can't dry sweep, or you're not supposed to anyway, unless you have a respirator on. But yeah, it's definitely nasty downrange.
It is definitely nasty. Got all these comments. I can't read one of them. Phone in.
Here you go. There's your phone. We'll let him just do his thing.
And this isn't rude. This is to make sure that we get everybody's thing. Pontius Pilot's out there.
We're gonna make Ricky happy.
About damn time. 1,000-yard range, $45 per month. Yeah, Darren Becker's cleaned an indoor range. It's nasty. Local range instructor died from bone cancer lead. Oh wow, truth freeze. Where's the bonfire? I pay $125 a year out to $11.25 the range host. See, that's what's nice. Some of you guys, Nick's out there. What up, Nick? Mr. Coyote hunting. Andrew's out there.
Yeah, Andrew Gun Guy. He says I think it's $175 a year for Quantico.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice if you have access to ranges like that. It really is. I do know the range we shoot at is very, very expensive. It's like $500 to join. And then, but it's a nice quiet facility. You never have to worry about anybody else.
Look at that, see?
Plus archery and fishing and...
See, now we can read.
Yeah. Where's the voodoo? Should be here tomorrow. I'm waiting.
What up, Bad Billy? Yeah, this thing's going to be... What chassis you putting in, the XLR?
That's going to go in an XLR chassis. It'll be the JV Pro NV.
Yeah, that thing's a nice chassis for sure.
Yeah, it seems like almost everyone's in that $100 to $200 price range. I know that Clinton House, I know that they're going up, but that's $400 a year. They offer a lot, and it's a lot of property, but yeah, that does get expensive per year.
There's a lot of options there though.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about Clinton House, and I do like shooting out there, is you can only reserve 2-hour blocks, even if you're a member, for the long range. And
the new platform is...
The platform is horrible.
Yeah.
They can basically rent it out to 3 groups simultaneously.
But it's all
But
one
if
platform.
you ever move, the whole thing just shifts. So,
Yeah. So it's like shooting in the wind backwards. Got that
are you having any trouble getting 22 long rifle subs? Brian, I have looked around. Oh, by the way, Brian, I did have a little conversation through text with Cam, and so hopefully we'll be getting some information shared on that. No, 22 subs are out there if you're looking for quality match ammunition. Places for like Lapua Center X and Ely, it's out there. Oh, I see Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye's out
Some
there.
shooting land out here.
Yep, there is some shooting land.
You know, I can shoot on my land, but the problem is there's no place for me to get long distance, just because it's mountainous. So, you know, I've got the 100, and I've got a pistol range that goes out to 50, and that's good enough for what we do for just zeroing and then confirm it later.
Yeah. And then you can head out, get in the car, and go out to the 750.
How much distance is needed for basic outdoor shooting safely without hitting anything? A school bus was hit allegedly from a hunter a mile away. You know, truth freeze, I was actually tied up in a lawsuit years ago for a range that I had that I was operating. You know, we're in the South. A lot of people just shoot, plain and simple. You know, people were complaining that we were shooting at, 8 o'clock at night when, we logged in. The last person that shot was like 3 in the afternoon or something like that. And people, anytime they hear gunfire, they just assume that it's coming from the range. It's coming from the range. Everything's coming from the range.
Damn them range guys.
And we had people that came showing up with bullets that were in their driveway and that they almost got killed, and we actually had to pull out maps. It was tied up in court for about 9 months. And it was like, we don't even have a range that faces that direction, you know? So a lot of these people were just, oh, I'm not going to turn this political, but all these people were just basically trying to blame us because they didn't like the sound. And
there are people not from here.
yeah, and it's typically people that aren't from here. They move here for vacation homes. They typically have a home somewhere. I'm just going to say it. They have a home in Florida, or they have a home up in
New York,
up north in New York, and they're summer homes. And so when they come, they said they didn't like to hear gunfire, even if it was only one day. One day out of the week, they didn't like the gunfire.
You know, you should tell them.
I know what I told them, but anyway.
Okay,
so to answer your question, they had to bring in Army Corps of Engineers. They had to do a ton of different evaluations on the property, and unless you have no sky or no blue sky barricades, they really wanted it to basically be clear for a few miles. Yes, it is possible for a hunter to shoot a bullet a mile. I was able to, on the one video, I was able to hit the 1 mile target with a 5.56. I think it was like the 8th shot or so, and yeah, I'm aiming it way up in the air, but it is possible. So, most hunters are hunting with 308s, 30-06, whatever. It is possible to get around out that far, and that is enough energy to kill someone.
I think what Mike J3 has said, which I don't even know if he's talking about the same thing as what I think he's talking about, it says, I don't think it's rude. We're getting free information and y'all's time. That's the problem with the country. One person gets offended, whoever that is, and everyone bends to their will. If they don't like it, move along. That's right. We want to read your comments. I want to read your comments. I don't think it's rude. And it's more rude to not basically ignore you guys, I think. So
I'll always try to answer comments.
I know, but in order
But
to
my
read
big-
comments,
okay,
is
so
you got to
if-
see the comments.
If anybody knows me, my biggest pet peeve is somebody with their face on a phone. That bugs me to no end.
He's the worst.
I'm the worst. Yeah, it's just like, when you're going in a car or something and somebody's just got their head in the phone, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's like acknowledge my
dude,
existence.
yeah, no, I know too many people that just do that, and it's like,
Channel can't
just get rid of
change
phone. There's a time not to have it.
Yeah, but this is different.
This is different because we need the comments, and you
Yeah.
don't have the big board up there. But I do know how aggravating it is. So
Boys
it did
please.
hit home when he made the comment about that.
I wish I would have saw it. I would have told him pack sand. We're here helping everybody, having a good time. We got to read the comments.
Yeah.
As I put this back so we can't see it. Pretty soon, one day, there'll be a screen. We'll be able to read it. No problem. We are 50, basically. So
Pontius Pilate.
This
Okay,
makes
he
it hard to
says,
see.
would you mind spelling the name of the suppressor covers you recommended? Okay, so it depends on which one you're talking about us mentioning. I've always used the Armageddon Gear suppressor covers. I've recently started trying the Coltac suppressor covers, but
yes, truth freeze.
there's this 100% silicone suppressor cover. Big shout out to Brian Duchesne, who provided some samples for myself and for Rick first, and they are 100% silicone. They are nice because they don't fly off. I can't tell you how many suppressor covers, no matter how many times you tighten it, they kind of work themselves off or work themselves loose. It is by a company called Weka, W-E-K-A. They do not fly off. They're not
Do
going to come
fly
off.
They won't fly out. I don't care if you're in a helicopter doing 200
Yeah.
miles an hour.
Yeah, matter of fact, you're going to struggle getting them off.
Yes.
The easy way to get them on is either to wet it and slide it on, it'll evaporate, or you can use like hand sanitizer or alcohol and just slide it on, it'll evaporate.
That works well.
Yeah, just
You still got to get it off, though.
you still have to get it off at some point.
It's like
I
a
think,
tug of war.
doing a lot of the motorcycle racing and everything else, one of the tricks we used, if you have compressed air from an airline, you could probably just and slide it right on, and when you take it off, just lift aside and it comes right off. That is one thing I was going to recommend. Are you going to have an air compressor down here? Because if you don't, you need one. Every good shop needs an air compressor.
Yeah, we're going to have to get one.
Yeah.
It's going to have to go in the noisy room, though.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to have more conversation with the owner of that company, Cam, about that on the Weka covers. It's not anything new. Suppressor covers made out of silicone has been around for a while. I'm trying to think of the name of the company. It starts with a B. It is a suppressor manufacturer. It is Bowers. Bowers Group, I think, came out with them back in 2016-ish, 2017.
Which answer was the eyelid? Which answer had the, what eyelid?
The
had
answer was right
was the
here.
left
It
one,
said
wasn't it?
Bowers,
That's what I thought.
B-O-W-E-R-S.
Gotcha.
I have to go through that filing cabinet.
I know, I hear you. Gump says, laughs like a box of chocolates. I don't know if I like these chairs, right? It's better than sitting on a bucket, but these things are slouchy. I said that weeks ago.
Yep, I do remember that, Darren. I mean, he just has
Yeah,
some
Darren.
drops on here.
I need advice.
Using the blue line like I ran in my office, I mean, that's just so nice.
Yeah, well,
It's not cheap. It's
I
expensive.
should
But
run it overhead and plug it in over to here.
yep, just have a drop on each one of your outlet poles.
I have to put it on that side though, because I already did the drywall here.
Yeah. It's just so handy when you're trying to get rid of lint and everything.
Where were you 2 weeks ago before the drywall was up?
What's that? Putting the airline in? Because it's expensive. Very expensive.
Airline?
If you
If you
put
do
the
it
stuff
right.
up that I'm talking about.
No, I don't put that Wackertech stuff on. But like a box of chocolates.
Every piece has some nasty filling in it. So Eric, you know, I hate that too, man. You get that box of chocolates and there's
You're
always
like-
that one that's got that nasty center.
Yeah, it's like a white. It's like a light brown in there, whitish light brown.
I don't do, you like the cherry covered chocolate?
Oh.
Oh, I can't stand
I
that.
hate those damn things.
No, I just rather just spit it out.
All right, you guys.
You
TV
have the
says
power.
it best. He
Please
says,
do panorama view.
hit the panorama view.
Get a couple of lazy boy. Now I'm half chewed and tossed aside.
Yeah, you bite
You
into
need
it.
an elevator idea, Rick? $380. I have you up and rolling. Just put one in. $1,400 capacity.
That should carry the sweet tea down here, right?
You guys look like the odd couple. Rick is Oscar and X-Ring is Felix. What was his name?
Felix the cat.
I'm trying to think. Somebody's gonna say it. It's the one that did Quincy back in the day. Medical. Quincy MD.
Oh, he used to live in Temecula.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name was Jack Klugman.
Jack Klugman. That's right. And the other one.
When I was a kid, we were at the grocery store,
Yeah.
and he was in there buying some groceries, and I go like that to my mom,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, and he's like,
Klugman.
She's like-
Klugman.
she's
Who's
like-
the other guy's name?
he's
What's
like,
the other
"Shh."
actor?
she's like, shh, like, don't bug him. I was like, Mom, that's a guy on TV. That's that guy on TV. Klingman? Oh, Klugman.
Klugman.
Yeah.
Back in the day, what the hell, boys?
What up, Red?
Yep.
Red October, the knife throwing ninja. He comes in.
Felix Unger.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what was the actual actor's name? It wasn't Felix Unger, was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just know him
Was
as
it
Jack.
Klugman?
Jack Klugman.
You guys are fun to watch. Almost done there.
Let's see here. Please give us a tour. Oh, San Miguel wants a tour of the man cave. We can do that. Give me a couple minutes. I'm lazy.
You got to move that unicorn vomit.
Don't be talking about my badass rifle.
Okay.
Man, the action on that
Yeah.
thing's so smooth.
So basically, the voodoo comes in tomorrow. I got to find some time on Friday to try to get zeros out to 400. I don't have time to go out to the range, the official range. So I'm probably going to go out to the
We're gonna go
cornfield.
hang out with children of the corn.
I'm going to go out to the cornfield. There's no cornfield right now. It's just cut corn. And I need to try to get some zeros. Tony Randall. Okay. Tony Randall. LL Unicorn.
What up,
Tony
Lynn?
something.
Eagle Eye. Don't be making fun of my unicorn.
Best action for the money. I'm looking for an Impact Precision 737R, but just wanted your input. Best action for the money is going to be a Remington 700.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, no, if you're looking at impacts, you're probably looking at something that's higher end. You know,
Do you want
you
a
did say for the money. though,
90-degree bolt?
Yeah, 90-degree
No,
bolt,
or you
60
want a
degree,
60?
60 degree.
Or
I
70?
think you've looked at
Yeah,
a good one
70,
there.
right?
You know, I do want to mention one thing. Guys, if you get into this PRS game and you get into this Impact Precisions and these Zermats and Curtises and everything else, be aware you're probably at some point going to have feeding issues. I don't care if it's the $8,000 proof conviction that I reviewed, about a month or so ago.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're at, a Pro Series match. Guys are going to struggle. You're going to struggle at some point with feed issues. I've rarely seen anybody run 100%. That's one of those things you're going to have to tweak it. You're going to have to get the feed lips right. I've just seen a lot of that. I think the actual proof conviction, I'm going to go ahead and, this is a continuation of what I said yesterday. I contacted Proof, left a message for him. I got no call back yesterday. Today, no call back. So I am going to go out on a limb and say at this point I am a little irked that an $8,000 rifle doesn't feed properly. I can't get a call back from the company. That's the second rifle that was bought from them with 2 barrels and no callback. That bothers me. I don't expect somebody to call me at the drop of a hat, but if you've got a customer service issue for a custom built rifle, they should at least call you.
Was Darren Becker the one asking about the actions?
I don't remember who was asking.
Because Darren Becker says 60 degree. If that's the case, your options are very now limited.
Yeah, you got to go with the Curtis.
You got to go with
like
Curtis.
An Axiom.
Yeah, the Axiom. And there's a couple few that tonight. What is it called?
You two need to do government tyranny, constitutional rights, community networking ways chat.
Nope. 2222. Oh, that's the time. Truth free.
Feed issues seem to be more common with custom actions for sure. And that's from Kenny. Kenny's a rifle builder. He's built a couple rifles for me that shoot unbelievably well.
True, right?
Everything's good. And I'm not putting this on Kenny because I went with that 6 ARC, but it was a little bit of a chore for us to find magazines that fed well. Now, Kenny stumbled upon the MDT, the 224 Valkyrie mag, and that actually works. But everybody was like, oh, you got to use the fit kit. It doesn't matter. I mean, these guys that are running those still have issues, where they're double feeding, dropping mags, or trying to get these things out. You're going to have issues. That being said, that Accuracy International, that thing rarely skips a beat, okay?
That's always running.
It's not a custom gun.
DW, you're not very nice.
What did he say?
He just says if I had a problem with my rifle and I sent it back, they would think, well, here's the problem, it's a Fruit Loop.
Pontius Pilot, it said, would you be interested in doing a video on how to accurize a bolt-action rifle? Pontius Pilot, that would actually be, and I don't want to call him out on it, but it would be a great, great video for Eagle Eye. Because in order to accurize properly a bolt-action gun, let's say you take a Remington 700, you're going to want to square everything up, you're going to need equipment, you're going to need a lathe, you're going to want to blueprint everything, know the headspace. So it's not something where you're just going to take a rifle and accurize it. I mean, if you go out and buy a hunting rifle and it's not full free float, then yeah, you can go in and free float the chassis from the barrel so that you're not affecting the harmonics.
Or bed the stock.
You can bed the stock. Those will help, but I think getting into that next level, I mean, there's only so much you can do with accurizing. On an AR, same type thing. There's only so much you're going to be able to do.
Bald and Curious, come on down, brother. Come on down. We got some drywall left and all sorts of shit.
Eagle Eye says manufacturers engineer every aspect when building a commercial rifle. For example, Remington 700. Buying a chassis. Chassis are designed to work in conjunction with many actions. I know Matt went through heck when he bought. Okay, so Matt had ordered a Manners stock.
Oh, that was a big
and that was a chore for him. I had actually sold him a Stiller Precision Action, which worked great on the McCrees. I had 0 issues with it. It always fed. It was perfect. That was built by another gun builder that you guys might not have heard of. But I sold him that, but it has a faceted receiver. Well, it didn't work in the Manners. And then he buys the XLR. It doesn't work in that. And even though it's Remington 700 based, he just had a horrible time with that. So if he's watching, he knows what I'm talking about because it was just one of those things. It just wasn't right. So yeah, just make sure you know what you're getting. Try to make sure that everything that you're getting kind of pieces and works well together. Let's see. A buck killed a shooter last year, gored him after he shot the buck. Wow, yep. What can you do to the bolt? You can actually, on the bolt, you can lap the lugs. There's some things you can do on that, but once again, you're really going to need a machine shop or a gunsmith that has the right equipment. I don't think there's anything you're going to do or find in your basement or in your garage to do that unless you've got access to a machine shop. And that's basically squaring up the lugs so that when your locking lugs lock within the receiver, that it's not canted. That's everything squared up. You'll usually see that. If something's had that work on it, typically the back of the lugs, if they've been squared, they're going to be polished or honed down. Animals that are nocturnal or low light, the sensors in their eyes pick up blue spectrum light very well.
Yeah, that's the reason why a lot of the camo, they have to do that light test to it.
Yeah, and you know that's a whole nother interesting topic right there. Just getting into your vision, rods and cones, and how all of that works. It's like you see these National Geographic or anything like that, and they're saying, oh, the eagle can see that. How do you know? How do you know that that's what they see?
You just ask them.
Because you don't see what I see, okay? And so we can see objects, but the color you see, and let's just not go into the whole someone that's colorblind, but what you see and what you hear is different than what I see and what I hear.
That's why you like that shirt and nobody else does.
That's right.
Because you see it as a nice looking shirt, the rest of us
well, unanimously, everybody sees that chassis over there as Skittles. So
I have no problem with the Skittles rifle.
No, I'm just saying. I know you don't. I know you like it. So anyway, it's just interesting because he mentioned, the deer can see the blue, the spectrum.
Yep.
How do we know? Back in the day, I've got buddies that hunt. I used to hunt a lot. And I mean, these guys were diehard, and hopefully I don't offend anybody on the channel. I mean, it was to the point where, these guys were using the clothes wash, the scent, and, everything was camo. These guys had camouflage underwear. They had camouflage interior in their trucks, camouflage steering wheel, and like,
you know what that is?
Dude, the deer's not going to see you. But anyway, some of the largest deer I ever got were with a pair of khaki pants and a white t-shirt in the day while stalking. I even told Rick this story. I mean, I've got a big one that's hanging up on the wall, and it's like, I got that. It was a shirt that someone gave to me. It was a white Bud Light shirt with a pair of khaki pants. And I was basically stalking. I was walking, nothing out of a ground blind. I don't do ground blinds. And I've never had any issues with hunting. And it just got to the point where I was done with it. I had shot enough deer in my life. I still want to shoot a coyote. I do want to.
You want to do some dog hunting?
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's just, it was the whole thing. It's like, oh, deer's going to see you. I think it's about movement more than anything. Depending on how you move, how your stalk is.
Do you walk through the woods like this?
do you walk like a squirrel, right? Every deer hunter I know, that's a deer. That's a squirrel. Dang it. Damn it. Don't forget to true the bolt face. There you go. I think I just mentioned that, truing up the bolt face.
Does your skill rifle glow under a black light? It depends, Rev. It depends if a deer's looking at it or not. I don't know.
Oh, Darren says, come to North Dakota. We do have a lot of coyotes here, and I've been taken, I've been taken out about 3 or 4 times. I have yet to have seen one. I mean, everything from the collars to you name it. I would love to. I
want to go hog hunting in Texas. That's what I want to do. I want to go blast me some.
That would actually be fun, but I think coyotes would be better. I think coyotes are harder to...
No, you do that at night after you hog hunt.
Oh, okay.
I guess you could night hunt hogs, too.
Yeah, Kreiderman says coyote hunting is so much fun. Eagle Eye says he made a 3D printed polycarbonate extended handle, making a lathe jig to thread them. Soon, Lynn Holt, soon. I like hunting because I had to find it. Had to be fun, and I like meat. I'm not very good at it, but it's fun. Yep. Everything, everyone. I don't know what that means. 2 halves. that are epoxy together over the factory knob. Yeah, so Eagle Eye, it's funny
You
because...
have one of those, don't you?
No, I don't have one. There's actually another company that makes one that actually snaps around a Remington 700 bolt knob. I don't know who makes it, but I had a chance to use one in one of the classes I was teaching. I asked the guy, I was like, where'd you get that bolt knob? He goes, man, it snaps right on. And believe it or not, it did a good job. Now, these guys all make fun of the 8-ball CZ knob that I have on the CZ455. And it's an 8-ball. That sucker's like a gobstopper.
It's like a zero press.
But you can just raise and close with one hand like this without bringing the thumb off of it because it's rubber and it has enough texture.
Oh, that's how you're cheating.
It's like a soccer ball. That's not cheating.
That's not cheating.
KRG makes a snap-on knob. There you go. What is up, +5?
+5.
I like turtle hunting. I can keep up. But you must register the property with First North Carolina, South Carolina, with DNR.
For what? What's Eric talking about?
I think he's talking about doing some type of hunting or something. I don't know. I missed that part.
So what else is going on? What other items are up
They can't
in the
tell you.
air?
You'll have to tell them.
What are you talking about? They can tell me all day long. They got fingers and they're typing. What are some of the things that you guys would like to see in the man cave over here?
And while you're thinking about that, what are some things that you would like to see as video topics that would appeal to, I don't know, you guys that actually watch? We got 72 folks in here. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, is that what we got rolling right now?
DNR, do not resuscitate, when he said that, but I think he's, DNR is Department of Natural Resources or something, yeah. But yeah, when I read that, I was like, DNR, you see DNR written on him, I was like, oh, okay, don't touch him. Yeah, sorry.
He's a goner.
Naked women. Oh, a Ryan picture. What do you think everybody would like to see? That's on the other channel. A tap sweet tea machine. An on tap.
That'd be cool, Lynn.
Paint murals by children.
Actually, one of these days when I get all done, I'm gonna have my daughter put a 6-pack on the wall. Not sure which one.
Did you say a 6-pack?
6 on the wall.
What? What did you do? Dang it, nasty. Shooting positions to practice for various shooting sports.
Killing me, Smalls.
Shooting positions. That would be a good one. I think we've done a couple
We've done
of those.
quite a
though.
few.
Yeah, we've done quite a few. Back looks cool, Rick, but a lot of wasted space, bro.
What do you say?
The back, a lot of wasted space.
Oh,
Is there a
we're not
brass
even
pole
done
on
yet.
order? Yeah, he's got the fireman pole. No, he doesn't like to talk about it. And the more people that actually says he needs a spiral staircase or a fireman's pole to connect the upstairs to downstairs, the more aggravated he'll get. Just like with the Skittles. He's like, it doesn't bother me, I like it. It doesn't bother me at all. But the more it aggravates him, I see the red get in his face. He doesn't know that we can see that. It starts to match his hat. He goes, I like my Skittles. And then he gets to the point where it's like, you know what, screw you, I'm just going to repaint this thing. And it just comes out. It's so funny to watch.
I have no idea what he's
He has no comment. Look at that. He's drinking his tea. That's his somber moment.
That's me trying not to be mean.
Paint a fire station. This archery range. Post
In here?
AR-500 steel holders.
Oh, archery.
T-post AR-500 steel holders. Any recommendations?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I have no ties with this company, but I will tell you the absolute best T-post AR-500 targets and target system that I have found, and I have shot a lot of different systems. I didn't say it was the most inexpensive, but you need to check out Best Targets, BEST-TARGETS. I don't have a code. I'm not affiliated with them. They are shooters, and I think Scott Whitehead is one of the owners, and he is really big into the ruck matches. He does really well, great shooter, and that's his company. They radius all their corners, especially like on necklines. I've never had one crack. We use them in a lot of matches around here.
How steep is the hill from the front and the back of the house? Not very steep at all.
Have you
It's
talked
about like
about
that.
your seating depths for your rifles lately?
No, I want to get to reloading again, but I'm not officially ready. I need to reload. I got some stuff I got to work on. I got the Skittles rifle. I want to try. The biggest thing I want to do right now, guys, just so you know, one of the videos I want to get out there is I want to test Shooter's World 4350 versus Hodgdon H4350. See what it takes in order to get whatever the chrono says for 40 grains. I want to see what it is for the Shooter's World. I want to see if the accuracy is the same. What do you think on that, accuracy wise? If you're getting the same feet per second, you're shooting the same projectile through the same brass cases, same primers, everything. If you can get the feet per second right, do you think that the group would be the same? As long as the neck tension's the same?
I missed what you're asking me though.
Two different powders.
Yep.
Shooter's World H4350.
Yep.
Versus Hodgdon H4350. I know that like at 41 grains, which those rifles like, it'll probably be like 41.3-ish.
Yep.
If I can get the two speeds to be the same,
yep.
do you think that the group would be the same?
Yeah, it depends on, I guess the burn rate is almost identical on the two.
Supposedly they're like almost identical. I've heard and seen where you had to add a little bit to keep the same feet per second.
Got it.
But if I was to get the same speed bullet, or the bullet to be the same speed, I don't think it matters, right?
I know.
Accuracy wise. So I want to do
a
test on that to see if maybe you guys already know. Is Rick's favorite beer Skittlebrow?
I do want to answer Darren Becker on this because
God, these chairs suck.
he said he would like for me to, and he mentioned this yesterday, the KGM R6 or the AV Raptor 762 suppressor. They only sell to Mill and LEO, which drives me nuts. I know a lot of contacts, both LEO and Mill. Maybe I can get my hands on one. I'll see what I can do. I just don't know anything about those suppressors. Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
A video on reading.
Now, the KG, if it's KGM, is that KG made? Because if it is, I know him, and I should be able to get my hands on one. If that's who you're talking about. I actually have his telephone number, so I should be able to call him up and get one sent over and do that. I'll work something out with him if it's KG made.
Truth Freeze, set up a classroom, he says in here. There's actually...
funny you should mention that, Truth Freeze. I am teaching for lack of a better word, I am teaching a one-on-one to an individual next week. And we're going to be using this area with Rick's permission. So
this is actually a classroom.
That Shooter's World powder is a slower burning powder, so it's not going to give you the same results.
If you put enough powder in it, though, to get the same feet per second. That's why I want to do the video.
Okay, got it.
I don't know. I'm asking because I would like to know for sure.
All right, let's see here. Anyone ever played around with the Hornady Super Performance powder? I have not. Rick's favorite beer, Skittlebrow. Oh, jeez.
I already read that.
I know, I missed it though, but 45 auto, he kills me with some of those.
Killing me, Smalls.
KGM Tech. Okay, I'll check it out. That might be KG made. I mean, how many places are going to be KGM? We'll check and see.
Use clean shot 9mm.
Burn rates may be the same, but burn characteristics are rarely the same between powder brands. Okay.
Bunch of good guys talking guns. Just need a good looking tea lady. Yeah, I know. How do you say that, right?
Drian?
Drian, okay. Yeah, I agree, Drian.
Well, I appreciate it. Yep. The harmonics generated would be different. Yeah.
Well, let's see. That'll be a good test. I did buy, let's see, 16 pounds of that H4350, Shooter's World H4350. As kind of like the last resort zombie apocalypse kind of stuff, since they had it. And the price was good, so I have it. I figured, why not do a couple videos. Now that we got the FX 300, the whole trick ass scale powder drop stuff, we'll be able to keep everything very consistent and just kind of see what kind of groups we can
Yeah. For those that have been watching, you know, my channel or been following it, I'm not a tinkerer when it comes to powder. As little as I have to be around these machines, the better. Once I find something that works, that's it. I'm done. I leave it alone. I don't really play around with a lot of different bullets. I would say I don't know how I would word this. I'm not searching for that ultimate accurate load. Yeah. I'm looking for something that's decent, that gives me consistent, you know, really low standard deviations. And once I find it, that's it. I don't really mess with it anymore. Now, in your case, you didn't have a choice because it was so hard to find H4350.
Correct. It was at the time when we couldn't find H4350, and I'm like, you know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna give this stuff a shot.
Oh, Joaquin, you killing me. He said he just had his first bowl of oxtail soup, or just had a bowl of oxtail soup. That stuff is real good. It is, and dang, I need to get some of that.
We got Mississippi Buckeye out there. Thanks for showing up. Burn rates may be the same, but burn characteristics.
Yep, I read that one already.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn to get you back. I knew you wouldn't like those chairs in the long term.
They're not. They suck. Oh, I need to plug this shit in. Oh. You are right. This chair
What's
sucks.
up, Redneck Pepper?
Tony, the redneck preppers out there.
K24 says that would be a good test on the Shooter's World, Rick.
Yeah, I think so. I think people would be interested. All right.
I know a lot of people are running it.
Froze up probably for a second. Ugh. I had to plug it in. Get some charge going.
Sounds like a Glade. Plug it in, plug it in.
Plug it in. Doing okay for an old fat man, Tony. What's up, Tony, the redneck prepper? Yeah, Ryan Fixer, these chairs are not... They're better than sitting on a paint bucket, I will say, but they're not that great. Will you guys ever get into 50 cal?
So Eagle Eye, yes, besttargets.com. They should be out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Their hanger system, that's what you got to buy. You got to get that hanger system. For a T-post, it's not going to jump off. I mean, we shoot that stuff with 338 Lapua, everything else. I have yet to have one have a problem. I would definitely recommend looking at them. It's not going to be the cheapest, but like I said, you're not going to have to replace targets.
Hey, Robert, no, we've been talking... Oh, well, actually, when it comes to grains, yeah, we were talking about Shooter's World. Yeah, the 6 Creedmoor and the 6.5 Creedmoor. So, yes, you were right on that one.
No, as far as 50 cal, will you guys ever get into 50 cal? No. Actually, Rick sold his 50 cal. This is when we first met. I actually bought it. I have had a bunch of 50 cals. I've sold every last one of them. Just, it's not practical. I had a friend of mine this last week pick up a Barrett MRAD. And I won one of those a few years ago. And it was novel. It was fun. Hopefully Andrew Gunn guy's not on here because he likes that. And I like it. It's good. I know that the military just chose that. But for what I was doing, I didn't care for it. It wasn't the most accurate thing. It wasn't the most consistent thing in what I shot. He says the ones that he's been testing they've been absolute tack drivers. But anyway, my buddy got one. He got it at a good price. And I told him, I was like, dude, you're going to sell that. I said, where are you going to shoot 338? And he's like, well, you know, I can go out to... I said, no, you can't. I said, they don't allow it there. I said, they allow it on the 1 mile, but you can't shoot any intermediate targets. They don't allow it. I said, on top of that, I said, you know, I've got boxes of the Lapua 338 at my house. That's $70-something. It's $7 a round. I got into reloading 338, and I was using, you know, 300 and, you know, the 260-something CNRs and everything else. And I don't think I'll get back into the bigger calibers again. ELR is not something that we have access to around here, and I'm not going to drive halfway across the country to shoot, you know, 2+ miles and get into Charlie TACCOMs and everything else. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get back into the bigger calibers again.
I tried getting Ray into to shoot the King of the 2 mile. They did cancel it this year, I heard.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll ever get him into it.
Yeah, Doug B, I actually had, I won a lot of barrel kits with that. I actually had the 308, I had a short barrel, I had a long barrel. I had a 338 long barrel, short barrel, and
They
it also
come
has
off.
3 and a Win Mag. It's just a, I don't know, the rifle didn't appeal to me. I was very appreciative that I won it. Big shout out to Barrett for sponsoring that event, but I just didn't bond with it. So, X-Ring, KG Made and KGM Technologies are the same company. Kyle partnered with another guy to form the new company. You know, I wonder if that was elevated suppressors or something, but I do know Kyle. I didn't want to say his name, but now that you said it, I know Kyle, so I'll see what I can do about getting an R6, and I'll see, you know, I'll see how much it costs first, because I don't even know what I'm talking about. I've never seen one, so I'll see if I can get one in and possibly review it.
So it is the guy you know then?
Yeah, I know Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle is, if you guys don't know this, I don't want to speak out of turn, but he is an amazing laser welder. He does, his work is phenomenal. And I think he used to like work on lasering nuclear reactors and things like that. I don't know to what level, but he does unbelievable work. But yeah, I think he just moved locations as well. Good dude.
Craig
Good dude.
Johnson, I shoot the Starline brass in the 6.5 Creedmoor. I like it. Works great. Actually, you shoot Starline brass in the 6 Creedmoor as well.
Yeah, K24 says CX steel targets for some deals. I have used some of those as well. They're okay. If that's the one that I'm thinking about, it actually slides over the top of a T-post and has a tensioner screw. And I did have a bunch of those pop off. It's the same company. It's the one that it moves like this. The one from Best Targets doesn't move at all. It slides directly over. The only thing that's ever happened is I know that a 338 hit one of the hooks with a direct hit. And what it did was bent it just enough so that when you tried to unhook the steel off of it, you couldn't get it off. So what we did is we put a cheater bar on it. We were able to bend it back down. That's a direct hit from 338 Lapua Magnum. So
those are great
targets. They're great targets.
They never pop off, which is nice.
I agree in the 338. I have less than 250 rounds through mine. 200 were probably the first year and 50 in the last 9. So, Mississippi Buckeye, I also had a Savage that I picked up from a gentleman that was 338. This was about 2 years ago, and I sold it to a coworker, and you know I made him a good deal on it because I got into it very inexpensively, and he's already trying to sell it, and I think he shot a total of around 20 rounds through it, and I gave him a bunch of ammo as well. And so there's some other guys in the shop keep asking me, should I buy it? Should I buy it? Where are you going to shoot it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it?
That's the problem. It depends if you're out west or something.
We're not out west, but around here, the guys that live around here,
Yeah.
And if you're out west, you're going to target shoot with it. Are you going to hunt with it?
No, it's too far. Doug B.
Uh-oh,
about the
Doug B
AMP.
just got the amp.
Nice. Squishy chairs. Need head rest back. Posture.
Why does a good overland trailer
Yes.
cost as much, if not more, than an off-road vehicle? You know, Tim Davis, that's a good question. I see a lot of those in western North Carolina. They're usually pulled by like an FJ Cruiser or a Toyota 4Runner. That's what I usually see. But there's actually a company not too far down the road that actually makes some of these funky little things. You see them all over the place. It's some manufacturing company that makes some of them, but I don't
you tell
know.
about the one right down the street?
Yeah. We'll just leave it nameless, but
It's only like, what, 5 miles away or something? Looks like a giant.
Craig Johnson, how many rounds does it normally take to break in a barrel for 6.5 Creedmoor? Craig, I'm going to be careful how I word this, but breaking in a barrel, that's a touchy subject, and this is going to, we'll get a million different comments on here. The only thing I can say is how I break one in, and typically on a good quality barrel, that barrel is going to be broken in as far as the proper break-in procedure, like a manufacturer, if there is such a thing, will say about 10 to 15 rounds. But you're still going to increase on accuracy, and I would say completely like, some people call it, they use the term to say, has the barrel come in yet? Has it come in yet? And it's like, well, yeah, it came in. I've had it for 2 weeks. No, has it come in as far as its accuracy.
It's been in the safe.
You should start seeing it by, I would say, if you're not seeing it around 60 rounds, where it's shooting tight groups, it's probably not going to shoot a whole lot better than what you're seeing at that point. If you've given it 100 rounds, then you might want to look at maybe, you know, stripping out the copper, starting all over again and see if it comes in. But then you might want to look at loads or whatever you're shooting. But, and I know that was a long answer to your question, but yeah, it doesn't take that long.
Especially if you said high quality barrel.
Yeah, I did.
So
I said high quality barrel.
Less quality barrel could take a little longer because you basically got to.
Yeah, I mean, it could, yeah, but still, even your, I'm going to say entry level barrels, or you know, just a production gun with a decent barrel, not something that was hand lapped or anything like that. It should be shooting pretty well by 100 rounds. That's about what you get is what you got. But
if you gotta burn the barrel out to get it to finally shoot well, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, Doug B says I've never annealed. Time to start. Absolutely. I pretty much now shooting, you know, the Lapua brass or even the Starline. For any of these precision rifles, I'm annealing every time. Every time, without fail.
And you should, especially if you have an annealer. Why not? You know what I mean? If you're going to reload 100 rounds, it's not going to take very long to anneal.
Is there another cartridge besides brass that you can use that will expand and seal? Another cartridge or another another metal? I mean, they're all going to expand. I mean, you know, like if
it's an explosion.
Yeah, it's an explosion that's happening. You know, steel. Some people actually reload steel cases. You've got aluminum, like your Blazer brass, that'll work. Not going to be good for reloading usually because you're going to have splits in it. You know, nickel plated, those usually crack a little sooner. I know a lot of guys, you know, especially pistol guys. This was a topic of a couple years ago. If I'm reloading pistol, I throw all the nickel to the side. I've had more issues with split cases and things with nickel cases than brass ever. So yeah, I just put them to the side, keep them in one bin.
And I always thought of nickel brass as like self-protection rounds. So like I'd separate it, and if I was going to reload with it, I'd throw in like hollow points.
Oh yeah, Thomas Rowland.
Yards. Yeah,
I want to see you guys do a post with a rimfire dueling tree at 450 yards. We could do that.
We don't have a dueling tree.
There is one at the range.
Oh, drag it all.
We'd have to drag it all the way up to 450 yards. It would take a little while, but we could definitely do it because, you know, we shot out to 700 that day with the rimfires.
Yeah.
Aha! Matt, you're going to need a new one by the time Ray gets done mauling that one. Won't be the first night force I've mauled. All right, so another metal. Yeah, another metal. Yeah, I mean, everything from plastic, you know, to these polymer cases, these bimetal cases. I mean, there's tons of stuff, but brass seems to always be the winner.
Yep. Cheap enough and 22 at 450 yards would probably not fun.
Yeah, so Eagle Eye. See, this is great information. That's why I love this. That's why I love this channel. He says recent builds of his are showing half MOA or better within 30 rounds of the 6.5 Creedmoor. So there you go. But to be fair, recent builds for Eagle Eye, I mean, he might be putting it in a Bartland. He might be putting it in a, you know, in an Excalibur or who knows what kind of barrel.
Top quality barrel.
Yeah, top quality barrel. So if it's something, let's say a guy got a barrel from his buddy that just bought a Ruger RPR, and the first thing he did was never even shot it and took it off and gave it to him, and he puts it in a custom build just because it was free. Would you expect to see it come in completely at 30 rounds? And maybe so. 22 at 450 would probably not turn the targets. And I would absolutely agree with that, Mississippi, but we should be able to see the impacts. Will there be enough energy left in a 22 at 400 yards to move a target? Probably not move it. You'll hear it ding. Depends on how thin it is. So, is a dirty gun the only downside to steel rounds? Steel rounds, meaning the case or do you mean like bimetal composition of the bullets? Because there is a huge difference there. Let's see what he says. And I don't think dirty gun is the only downside. You've got steel on steel contact. I think you can start scoring your chamber with steel case. I don't know what point we're talking about here. Are we talking about, in a gas gun? What are we seeing? There's some really, really good articles on guys that are shooting, steel case, steel core ammunition, and how much extra wear and tear it actually puts on an AR. I know there's quite a few viewers that only shoot steel case ammo and nothing else, and if you ever were to watch that test, actually, I don't know the name of it. I know if you go and search on Lucky Gunner, you can probably find it, but they actually took 4 identical rifles. I think they were Bushmasters, and they fired them with like Federal like XM193, then they used like Wolf, and they used, some Russian stuff, whatever.
What I'm hitting still?
At the end of the test, and what they did was they cataloged everything, accuracy from the beginning. They did it at the end of 10,000 rounds per rifle, and then they actually took the barrels and cut them in half, okay, using like a water jet or something like that. If you ever see that, you probably won't shoot steel case ammo again using the inexpensive stuff, even though it runs in your gun.
How many rounds?
You probably won't.
10,000?
I think they did 10,000 on all 4 and then cut them apart to show. Not only the wear in the gas port area for the direct impingement system for your gas tube, I mean, that was just completely galled out. The chamber, everything. And then the accuracy test at the end. You guys would be amazed. This is really good information. I would read that. It's a very comprehensive article on shooting that.
What's the max distance at the 22 match this weekend? Mackie, what's going on?
All right, Makev, someone said 500.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
think so.
500.
I think it's probably going to be 400-ish. Because talking to the match director a while ago, he's like, yeah, realistically, you don't shoot past 400. Occasionally, you'll see something at 450, but I don't know. Somebody could have just been talking.
He's got one on order. Eagle Eye says a Bartman barrel.
What is the sweet spot for barrel length on a 6.5 Creedmoor for PRS? Dre and Neil. PRS, the barrels are typically longer, okay? You're going to be in that 28-inch range, 29-inch range, but I would never shoot a barrel that long for a sniper-style match or a ruck-style match. I would probably go with something like 24. I think 24 is optimal.
I think PRS 27. 26, 27.
Yeah, 26, 27 on PRS is typically going to be a little longer. That'll help with balance, but the barrels are a whole lot thicker. Running like an MTU contour or something like that.
It's a truck axle is what it is.
It's a truck axle, that's right.
With a hole in it. Got old Junior out there.
Okay, so Orion Fixer, this is a great question. In the revolver era, didn't nickel-plated cases come about so police didn't have to polish the rounds they wore on their duty belts? And what he's talking about is back in the revolver days, they had the leather belts and they had the inserts kind of like cowboy belts. And if you guys know, just even brass is going to tarnish over time. Nickel is a lot more corrosion resistant to those type of things, sweat, things like that. If you've ever, just taken your self-defense ammo and you're constantly rotating the top one off, you're going to see it starts to get black, it starts to get nasty from the salts on your hands. You're not going to see that with nickel case. It's why you typically see nickel case for self-defense ammo, your higher end Hornady, Spear, all of that is going to be nickel case. And the reason is it's not going to build up that crud on the exterior. You got to think of someone that's in law enforcement that is constantly wearing that gun. They're not getting new ammo all the time to get it rotated out. Something else to be aware of, if you're that guy that you carry every day, and let's say you have kids at home, and so you just want to take that round out of the chamber so that there's not one in the pipe, and then the next day you put one back in. Be careful about bullet setback, okay? You just constantly closing that slide on that same bullet all the time. Take you a set of calipers and measure it.
We talked about this one time. Been a couple years now.
Oh, really? Yeah, just watch the setback because it's going to happen. You just think about just tapping on the end of that bullet all the time. The next thing you know, what you'll get is you get excessive pressure. It's not going to go where you want it to go. Just watch that.
It's usually the first two.
26 inches is a good compromise.
Yep.
Other Tim Davis says 22 inches. I don't think that's a good answer for PRS. Not for 22 inches in a 6.5 Creedmoor. 26 inches is a good compromise. I agree. Police were using revolvers for a long time. I guess it depends on the department. Yeah, that's right. Commonwealth Minuteman. It depends on how big the agency was, whether or not that was something the officer had to purchase or not. I know in North Carolina, they were running revolvers up until about 1995 or a little later. I'm not talking about like, your armored car carriers. Those guys still carry revolvers around here. But yeah, I mean, semi-auto kind of replaced all of those. They're kind of dead.
New York PD out ammo was swapped out twice a year. All street ammo.
Yeah, Doug B. Yeah, that's about typical from what I've seen from most agencies. About twice a year, because a lot of agencies will either do qualification twice a year or once a year, and usually that's when they get swapped out. And when they show up, just because I've helped train a lot of different agencies, they'll say, let's go ahead and burn up your duty ammo and we'll replace it at the end of qualification. So what they'll do is they'll issue out ball ammo that's the equivalent for their qualifications, and then at the end of the day when they're done, then they give them their new duty ammo.
Yeah, Nick Knox, no heater in here yet. I got a guy coming tomorrow so I can get a quote on a mini split.
Thanks, Brian T. He says good info. Old school police mostly use Smith & Wesson 38 specials. I read somewhere, yeah, 38 special is probably the most common, and then you had a lot of agencies carrying 357. I think the North Carolina Highway Patrol carried 357 for the longest time, and they presently shoot 357 SIG, believe it or not, and they shoot, I think their duty guns are SIG 226s.
Yeah, you were telling me that the other day.
Yeah, and they shoot 357 SIG, which is a very potent cartridge.
And a 38 till the early 90s.
Yeah, police Colt official, and its variants were very popular. Maybe it was 94, 95, I got a 9mm. Yeah, 9mm was really starting to come on strong, and in the mid-90s when you started seeing that transition with a lot of agencies.
That's when the Glock world broke out.
And then, okay, it's funny how all this progressed, because what you saw was 9mm, 9mm, 9mm. You just saw it everywhere. And then all of a sudden, you had the shootout, the big FBI shootout, and then all of a sudden, every agencies were saying, "Oh crap, we got to come up with something else." The 40 cal was developed. 10mm was actually developed, and then they say, "Well, there's too much recoil, so we need to drop it down." With 40 Smith & Wesson was birthed. And the problem is, all right, we're losing rounds. You saw this massive agencies going with 40 Smith & Wesson. Even Homeland Security was running a 40 Smith for the longest time. And then
they couldn't qualify.
And then, people say it was bullet technology changed. So it's the more rounds you have on you, the better chance you have of winning a gunfight. I know a lot of agencies actually moved up and started carrying 45 ACP. But they were limited on the amount of ammunition, and so now everything's back to 9 again. Everything's back to 9 again. It goes full circle.
I was not a big 9 fan, and I was a big 40 guy, and then had to transition over.
Hi, dudes. Ray, have you ever seen anyone shooting the absurdly expensive Elite Iron Revolution bipod in PRS? Any issues with its barrel below the apex of the leg system? I think the one he's talking about is that one that goes above it, and so it's underneath it. I haven't seen that. I'm not saying if there's there, because, when I'm on my squad, I'm not looking at anybody else's stuff, really, except for the people that are on the squad with you shooting, but I don't even know what that thing costs. I've seen it. I'm aware of it. I can't speak on it.
I saw F-class guy, Gunfather Precision, he shoots that. You talking about the bipod that's got the extra wing to bring the legs up?
Doug B says females couldn't qualify and went back to 9mm. As a whole, and I don't want to offend any law enforcement that are out there, but as a whole, he's not wrong, because I have seen a lot of females have issues qualifying with 40 cal, but I think you'd be surprised how many guys had a problem qualifying with 40 cal. Look, love police officers to death, but some of them are just some of the worst shooters ever. And I'll go to any USPSA match, and I will probably take I would say I'd say a C-class shooter is probably going to spank most officers in any type of qualification or pistol shooting. I'm not trying to downplay the officers, love police officers, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, because I've been around a lot of it with training aspects and watching qualifications and assisting.
And I'll have
That's
to
real
say
world.
the same thing, because our fire agency and our law
That's right.
enforcement agency
Are together.
I used to shoot against them, and
You'd smoke them.
I'd smoke them. So
And you guys know how it is. No, I'm
and
just
I
kidding.
suck.
I'm just kidding.
There was a couple guys. If you were to take 10, I would say there was 20% good shooters. The rest were mediocre.
Yeah, Tim Davis, I get what you're saying. And what he said was not all cops are gun guys and not all gun guys are cops. You're absolutely right. However, you do have to take it upon yourself to have some level of proficiency with your firearm, because that is that last step, okay?
Yeah.
That is the last level.
Taser's not working.
In your use of force continuum, that is the end story, all right? That is the end game.
Or your end game.
Or your end game. So that's one of those things that you want to be just enough to get by and pass with a 70, because most state qualifications, you can pass with a 70, and a 70 is horrid, guys, okay? I mean, there's shots off the paper, there's shots that aren't even hitting the target, and you can still pass. Now, some agencies will raise that bar up and go to like a 75 or a 80 as a minimum requirement. If you're on,
And they complain, and less people
if you're on SWAT or something like that, they're usually going to a 90 or 95% qualification rate, which they should, because their chances of being in something of more of a lethal encounter would be higher, especially on high risk warrant services, things like that. And if you have to take the shot, you want a higher hit ratio. Not saying that they will hit, but it's been shown those that shoot more have a higher, and those that compete as well have a higher hit percentage than those that don't. So yeah, I would at least be good enough to where I wouldn't feel happy with 70. I wouldn't be that person if I was doing that for a living.
Well, that's the thing, 45 auto. What you're saying is correct. And there was some comments earlier. It is a thing. If you're a gun person, I'm not going to say gun guy, because there's females that can outshoot all of us watching here. But if you're into it, it makes it more enjoyable. If it's something you don't want to do, you're going to dread it and not want to do it. And then you have to, because it's qualified time. And then you're going to suck at it. And
Darren Becker says in North Dakota, the Class 1 concealed carry weapons permit has a higher accuracy requirement than the police department, sheriff's office shooting test. Now, and I agree 100%. There's a lot of agencies where a concealed carry permit for the state is actually probably a higher requirement than what the state PD would be. But something, I was going to go somewhere with
North
this.
Carolina's is a joke.
Yeah, I've seen enough North Carolina. I will tell you, back in the day, back in the 90s, I think the Just Academy went through, and you used to actually get a score. And then all of a sudden, you didn't want to hurt people's feelings because he shot a 99.8 and I shot a 80. Yeah. They went to a pass-fail. Literally, pass-fail. And the argument that I heard was, well, if this officer is involved in a shooting, and it shows that his average score was 72, but yet this officer never shot below a 99, and this officer that shot a 99, he could shoot him in the leg. He has the proficiency there. Shoot him in the leg. I sound like Charlie Murphy right now.
I was saying it. I didn't want to say it.
Oh, man.
I was thinking it. Didn't want to say it.
I was like, wait a minute. You know how I sound right now? Rick James.
Rick James, bitch.
All right. So anyway, where was I going with this? I completely lost my train of thought. Holy crap.
Proficiency, you got the guy that shoots okay.
Oh, no, I know where I'm going with this.
I know,
okay, now the likelihood, nowadays it's changed a little bit, but the likelihood of a police officer being involved in a use of force situation that results in deadly force is a lot lower than his chance of being killed in a car collision. Okay, now I do know in the state of, because I used to drive for a living for a large company. For those that might be new to me and what I did, I used to be a professional car driver for a large manufacturer, and that's where they need to spend the money, because most officers will only go through very rudimentary pursuit schools and pursuit driving in their basic law enforcement training and then that curriculum. At that point, there's never a refresher, okay? And, you know, it's different. Okay, so let's say Rick's not a police officer, Rick's a fireman, but what do you do? Let's say when you were getting started and you were driving, what do you have on the top of your vehicle that makes lights and
Siren.
sound? Okay, and typically you're doing what when you have that running?
You're going code.
You're going code,
You're
okay? Just
responding
like
to an
police officers,
emergency.
okay? So what I've seen time and time again is you'll get these new recruits that come into an agency. They've had their little bit of BLET training with a little bit of pursuit school stuff, but it really doesn't teach them anything. It doesn't teach them anything about, you know, oversteer, understeer, high speed maneuvers or anything like that. But yet you're going to take this, you know, wet behind the ears, this rookie that's 21 years old. He gets out of his FTO training. Maybe he's been running code or something like that, but he gets out on his own and he gets behind somebody and he gets in a car chase. Now he's doing triple-digit speeds.
Yeah.
That he's never
He's
done
way
in his
over
entire
head.
life.
Way over his head.
That's where he's going to get killed, okay, or he's going to kill somebody else.
Yep.
Unless, now a lot of departments and agencies across the country have gone to a no pursuit policy. Depends on traffic conditions, saturation of the area, what time of day, weather, all of that. I hope this is not boring you guys too much. But yeah, we don't want to always concentrate those guys on firearms. It really needs to be on driving. And I've trained a lot of agencies, the best of the best, you know, CIA, FBI,
well, if you
in
can't
pursuit.
get to the call,
You're no good.
You're no good.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You've now caused a big problem because now you have an officer or a family or someone that's, you know, been injured, you know, or killed because this person didn't have the skills to control it. Now, the flip side of that is you do have stability control systems, dynamic stability control, you have traction control that helps, but you can never defy the laws of physics. I don't care what type of car you have. You could have a brand new Z06. Maybe somebody out there's got one. It's got, you know, your latest greatest Porsche out there that's got your PSM in it. It cannot stop you from running off the
From
road
killing
if you try to
yourself.
make a 90-degree turn at 120 miles an hour. You just won't do it, okay? The car doesn't know it's there. I've talked about this before. I used to teach this. Eventually, you guys will see GPSs tied in with car control systems so that the car knows there's no possible way that this car can carry this kind of speed through this radius turn. Case in point, look at Tesla and these auto-driving cars. It's tied in. You know, they have the autopilot system with sensors and everything else, but yet you have this officer that's never been triple digits, and maybe he doesn't know the road. He's so fixated and has tunnel vision on this vehicle in front of him, the next thing you know, he goes off into this corner, and it's just beyond his capabilities or anyone else's capabilities.
that's called a talent tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Your talent tank ran out when you wrapped it around a tree trying to chase somebody.
Yeah, I personally think more emphasis needs to be placed and more money needs to be spent on car driving and pursuit schools and things like that for officers than firearms, but they need to be proficient with both. And I've missed all of this. I'll shut my mouth now. You know what? You take over. I need to use the restroom.
Yeah, you go take over. Okay. Let me jump back here and see what we got. We got a lot of 1911 comments. Let's see. I would say that there is people that they enjoy shooting and some that just don't.
I don't want to miss it. Did any comments come up before I go to the bathroom? Or let me catch up and see.
No. Here, you can look. But
They were like, he's on a tirade.
no, he's talking about cars. No, no, there really isn't any comments about that. How many people we got watching this disaster?
67.
Damn, we got a lot of people out there. What up, Hidden Steel, California? Is it getting cold out there in Cali? Wearing those wool masks, covering up those COVID faces. I heard it's on super lockdown in the crappy state of California. You see anything? I can say that this chair, even though it's, oh, you know what? I'll do the tour. I can't remember who was asking about the tour. Are you still out there for the tour? All right. Let's do that. What up, Jerry Parker? Hopefully I got some battery in here now. Heck yeah, outside working all night. You stay safe out there, amigo. All right, so I got everything kind of shut down. Let me turn some lights on, lights on. So I need to put some drywall in this section. This is from the front basement door. Coming in, you walk in, you see a disaster of boxes. This is from some of the stuff from the house. So I just basically emptied all those boxes, and now I gotta grab more boxes. This is where we've been sitting. You can see it's getting drywalled. We got mud. We've been putting mud up. It's not looking so great, but it is what we got. We got applied. Who do we got out there? The Applied Performance Shooting. The second, everything Ray says about driving, I assisted in some driving schools in LE. Yep, for sure. We are on lockdown. Shows how much I know. Yeah, exactly. Heard there's a lot of stuff with that crazy ass Governor Gavin Newsom. He's a pile of stuff. But this is it. We're still working on this. I'm waiting for this pipe. I can't remember who wanted the walkthrough again. A lot of you guys have seen it, but I got a water line here, so I got to reroute that, and then I'll put the drywall up. Got the cleaning section here. This is where all the gun rifle cleaning is going to be. We got Skittle rifle over here, and the RPR, which I'll be shooting next Saturday. Down over here, in one of the rooms we made, is basically just reloading supplies stuff. Basically, just the extra stuff that's kind of deal. The router stuff is going to be up here for all the internet, Wi-Fi. Over here is kind of a section we haven't done anything with right now. It's just basically I got some studio poles that make a banner you guys might have seen last night. And the other side of the workbench is over here. So the reason why the workbench looks like this, let me get away from the rifles because YouTube's so anti-rifle. But now if you got a guy working on, say we're mounting scopes or whatever, you can actually reach from either side and help out get stuff built. So there is that. And then last but not least this is the other room, the larger room. Got the water heater. This is going to be a urinal, a wash sink, and then this will be all the tumblers and brass dryers here. There'll be storage shelves over here. And that's it. Hopefully that was quick enough for so many of you guys that already seen all that. Hopefully that makes it easy. Commonwealth, you're gonna need more ammo cans for that reload. I got a bunch of ammo cans at the other house still. You need a whole room for your Wi-Fi setup. Yeah, feels like it sometimes. So that is. Oh, you went and got a Diet Coke. There you go.
Did.
What the hell did I do to this camera here? Let's see. Let's plug you guys back in. I don't use no brass dryers. Talking rock. For the most part, when it's nice and warm outside, not a big deal. When it starts getting cold and it's taking forever to dry brass, just a couple makes the whole process a lot faster. Basically, you put the brass in, I need to reload, so it definitely speeds it up. I don't have an oven down here. That was one of the things I almost put in here was an oven, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just get some brass dryers.
Truth Freeze asked, do you have any flood standbys?
Flood standby.
In case the basement floods.
No. What's a standby though? Like a whole.
Do you have a sump pump? Do you have anything as a preventative?
I just opened the door.
Do you have any prophylactics?
I have any prophylactics for the flood? No. I can open the door though and let all the water out. That's all.
And +5 asked, do you have anything to protect all the guns? And I don't know if you've shared that or gonna share it.
Oh, so
Basically, this is a vault.
this is when we're all done. This is going to be a vault. So right now there's 3 windows. There's no access. That's why I don't want a stairwell. I got a vault door I want to put in a vault door where the door is that I showed you guys. I'm going to bar the windows, and it's going to be, instead of having a safe in a basement, the whole basement is going to be a safe. So the wall actually that Ray's sitting behind right now, this is going to be a Galotech.
Yep. And all the guns will be on display because it's a walk-in vault.
Yeah, it's a walk-in vault. So all the walls will be, not all the walls, but all this will be just where rifles sit. So it's going to be, basically we're inside of a safe right now. for the most part. So, what are they saying?
A lot of people have said, you know, you need a kerosene heater or cast iron wood stove, something like that.
No, I got a split. I got a mini split coming, so it's got a heater and an AC unit built in.
And they're very efficient, very efficient.
Yeah, this is 826, I believe, square feet. So it's a 826 square foot vault. So it'll be nice and warm down here. It's not even cold in here. It's just it's not warm either.
And of course,
so.
the builder, Val, says anybody can make it through the safe with a sledgehammer and bust through your wall.
Yeah, you can. But you're going to be on video, so, and that's what it is. They can break through any safe.
Correct.
I
With
mean,
enough time, you can get through anything.
That's why there's things called bank robbers.
Yeah. The other thing is, and you guys don't know the layout here or what's around, but he's in an, I'm just going to call it a higher traffic area. So
Yep.
it's going to be visible. I'm not saying somebody can't break in. Of course they can, but they're going to make a lot of noise. They're going to be seen, and it will be on camera. And that's it.
It is that. And more than likely, I'll be down here. So
Yeah.
they won't have to break through the door. They'll just have to open it. There ain't much down here to steal anyways.
Yeah. Oh, you forgot. Tim Davis said an 825 square foot vault with a urinal.
With a urinal and a wash sink. That's right. That's true. What vault have you ever seen with a urinal?
Outlaw Josie Wells.
Talking
He
about
asked a
urinal.
great question. He said, do you ever get concerned with barrel temps overheating and PRS and you can't quit shooting? What do you do? And about the only thing
cry.
you're going to see is a barrel cooler. Magneto Speed, there's a couple other companies that make them. I know that in Utah, there was one gentleman that was doing really, really, really well. And he was on my squad. He was part of that whole pro squad. And he just started slinging bullets everywhere. I mean, I think he pretty much zeroed out on a stage. And he goes, my barrel's too hot. I can't get the temp out of it. And, they were trying barrel coolers and everything. And you'll hear those things all over the place. But yeah, it's real. It happens. You're pushing these things hard, and let's say you have a stage. It happened right after a 15-round, 90-second stage where you're just really cranking it off, and we moved right on to the next stage because it was open. They got us shooting. The way his number came up, he was one of the next shooters, and he got a lot of temp in that barrel. So yeah, the only thing you can really do to mitigate it is try to shade it or use a barrel cooler. Rick, can't you? Yeah, he has the motion detection, everything. He's really thought this out. This wasn't something that was haphazard. And I know there's been a lot of comments about the flooding, but there was a ton of rain that came before he actually did any of the flooring in here, and there was no water, no effervescence on the walls, nothing to indicate that. In the fall of the property here, there's not really going to be anything. Not saying it can't flood. Everything can flood. But chances are not likely because he's done a lot of thought into it.
There's been a lot of thought into this place.
Craig Johnson, any experience with a Walther Q5 SF 9mm? I actually did a review on one. If it's the same pistol, it's the Walther that has the metal grip and all that. There was a hot spot that I remember that hit you really bad on the knuckle here. Pistol shot outstandingly well.
I remember that.
Yeah, and there was something that rattled on it that aggravated the hound out of me. It was something on the bottom of it. I'm sure it could be shimmed out or something. It wasn't the magazine. There was something on the bottom.
Was it the Magwell?
I know that they offered a aftermarket trigger, but yeah, I think it's a good pistol.
Josie Wales, you had sent me an email, or no, it was a comment on that thing about the hat. Hopefully, I did answer, so hopefully that helps you out. If you have any more questions, just email me and I'll help you out.
Yeah, Truth Free says a lot of people in New York, flood happens and folks get sad over the money invested in their basement and the damage. That's the only reason why he asks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there was some good comments. I think it was Ramsey Country on the water heater, that blow-off valve, basically where it has a hose and then
Yep.
it blow off onto the ground. I do want to reroute that so it does go outside. There is possibilities of flooding. We'll have a urinal in here. We'll have a wash sink, so that's more hoses. But if I did nothing in here, I still got lines that run in the roof where it could flood. Plus I got the well pump is in that room over there. You got the water heater over there. So can it flood? It can. It's not gonna flood, I don't think, from rain though. I think I heard you saying something when I was outside. We get a ton of rain, and
It's a rainforest here.
Yeah, the week before I purchased the house, we had 5.5 inches, I think is what it was, like in a day. And there was nothing in the floor, nothing anywhere before I did any flooring. So I really got a chance to check it out, see if there was anything. Every crack, all the ground, you know, I can't remember what the white stuff is, but it went all the way around, and we did everything.
RB asked if I have any experience with optics from Track Optics or the scopes. I have not. I did some research on it after someone had asked about it. I've been having a lot of questions about the Track Optics, and I think it was, if I got the company right, it was a gentleman that broke away from like Nikon or something, started his own. They use shot glass or something. If I don't have the companies mixed up. But I haven't had a chance to use one. I think the price point was a little over $1,000, you know, to $1,200, something like that. You know, I'd like to see one, but I don't reach out to companies and ask for products. So at the time, I'm not really looking for optics. But anyway, no, I don't have any experience with it. Chamber coolers are very, very loud. Talking Rock says killing the power will disable the system. That's not true. If you end up getting something like a CPI system, I don't know what Rick's looking at, but yeah, Ring can be disabled, but you've got a battery backup on most of your good security systems are decent. You're going to have video monitoring, all that, and video monitoring with a Ring. Yep. These are things that I've thought about as well at my house. I just did that generator, how I can run the house for 24 days on diesel, so I'm good there. My batteries aren't going to go down.
Yeah, you got a ton of fuel waiting.
Yeah. Did I see the video Rex did on the TACCOM structure barrels? +5, no, I haven't. I really don't watch YouTube at all. I do know about the TACCOM structure barrels. I know they're extremely pricey. I know it's a large diameter barrel that has a lot of holes that are in it that give it more rigidity. It's supposed to completely eliminate harmonics. I'd love to get one, but
yeah,
I'm not.
There's a lot of stuff people want or have questions about.
But I appreciate you asking, because now because somebody else got me interested. I am going to reach out to KGM and see if I can get one of those suppressors.
Yeah, it's like they want us to do reviews on certain items, but unless we're gonna go down and buy it, it's an expense for sure.
Tim, I am going to pick up the phone. How do you do your email? Somebody wants to know. They don't know exactly how. Is it with a 6 or not with a 6?
It's with the 6. It's Isyour6covered@gmail.com.
All one word.
Yeah.
Is your
Six.
SIX?
No.
Okay, it's the number. That's what he was asking.
Oh.
I can type. You don't need
Covered@gmail.com. Yeah, all one word. Is your 6 covered@gmail.com.
All right, there it is.
There you go. Yeah, that'll get you, if you spelt it right, which of course you probably did.
Yeah, you can also add flood sensors, 20 years, and my poured walls haven't leaked yet.
I have thought about that as well. In that room where the well pump is, you could basically make that where you run the sensor on the ground. And that is a possibility, so I don't know.
Best place to get an Atlas bipod for the Arca rail. I don't know.
Amazon.
What I did was I converted all of my Atlases over with the Area 419 Arca Swiss clamp. We actually have one right here that he can show you. It has a barricade stop on it. That's kind of what I did on all of mine. The R² Home Improvement Show.
This is the BT, which one is this one?
BT46.
Yeah, the one you don't, not to say that you don't want, but the one I don't like is the one that rolls.
It's the BT10.
Yeah, the BT10. Don't get the BT10.
The BT46 came about, and the owner of Atlas will actually tell you they designed their bipods for the military, for military application. They never designed it for civilian use.
This is the newer version of the button. The other one was actually smaller.
So SOCOM had a request to upgrade the BT10 to the BT46. And just so you know what it does, the feet do not roll, so they're non-rotational feet. They also added hard stops on the top, front, and rear. These are called anti-cant devices. which are right here, and so that it wouldn't go too far or mess that up.
Yeah.
They did enlarge the button on the new ones as well.
That little ball in there. Yeah, the buttons are bigger.
My only complaint about the Atlas BT is the bipod is sometimes you can't tension it hard enough, especially if you get an older one or it's got a wear on it.
Yours right here.
Yeah,
That one does not.
Yeah, I actually had
break
one
down.
that actually tore up. They said they'd fix it.
This one works way better. Remember, I actually took that one off and put mine on before we went to Utah.
Applied Performance says, but Rick, I can bring an excavator and rip into your house in the basement and break in. Of course, that's it.
Or
Darren
can
Becker, yes, you can email me. It is all one word, thexringchannel@gmail.com, or thexringchannel@gmail.com is the way he says it.
No, I say the.
Oh, you say the?
Yeah.
I say the.
The. To be or not to the? That is the question.
Area 419 is what Other Tim Davis says.
I got mine through Amazon.
Oh, Truth Freeze just said a mouthful there. He said, nothing is foolproof, nothing save Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
That's it.
Yeah, if you wanted to break in, you could. Just like if you wanted to break into a vault at a bank, you probably could. Nothing is foolproof. You are correct.
This is a new low in my life. I don't know.
What does that
Why
mean?
do this to yourself? This is a new low in my life. I don't know. I don't know who that
Who
is.
is it?
I don't know.
What's the price?
AIR. Air.
AIR. Your new low in your life. He meant love. He meant love of his life.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what he meant. I'm just talking shit now. Because I can. And again, today we are carrying, for the first day, the SOCOM Elite by Macrotech. You know what's funny?
What's
So
that?
I've been carrying this thing since last night, right? Every time I normally use my knife,
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really want to
Just use
dull
it.
it?
Just
Do I
use
really
the
want to
thing.
dull it? Shut up.
It's a tool.
It is
It's like
a tool.
grabbing your favorite screwdriver and being like, I don't know if I want to scratch it. Just use it. It's a tool.
It's like a hammer. If you're under septic line,
You need to get a poo pump.
you need to get a poo pump.
So your basement security was designed by Ray. No, it's all his stuff.
All my stuff.
But he has thought a lot of this stuff out. I'll give him credit for that. He knows what he wants.
That's it. I was the guy asking you previously.
About the tractor.
Oh, okay. Josie Wells. At X-Ring.
X-Ring is the SOCOM Elite on the list.
Of what? Oh, for the Gov Mill list? Probably not. I don't know if it is.
It wasn't, and then it was, and I don't know if it is now or not. These are just starting to resurface.
They haven't made these in a while. Trust
Yeah.
me, I've been waiting forever. They're finally out and about.
Applied Performance says he got a Microtech for a wedding gift for a buddy and he didn't want to give it to him. I've heard that so many times. Thomas Rowland said, nothing is foolproof, but you cannot outrun a bullet.
That's right, Thomas. You
Yeah.
are correct. The key to security is having
Multiple layers.
multiple layers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Or bigger magazines.
Bigger magazines. Now, if you were to do this right, you would do. So this is what I heard. Let's make this a topic for a few minutes. If you're building yourself a vault, you want to be able to have different types of materials that you have to cut through. So say you have a skill saw. A skill saw cuts through wood very well, but it doesn't cut through certain items very well. So I've heard, and I don't know if this is right or not, but I've heard obviously you see a safe, it's made of metal. It's easy
You
to-
take a sawzall and cut into a safe.
Yes,
A
cheap
sawzall
sawzall.
is the tool of choice, okay? You can steal catalytic converters from underneath the car with very, very little noise.
Wireless, man.
You can break into a safe. All you need is like one of the big battery packs, and you can get through about anything. Enough blades, a little bit of oil, you can
Yeah.
get through about any safe.
But different materials is what I heard is kind of the way to go in layers.
So, do you know how to cut into a safe?
Do I know how to
Yeah,
cut into
so-
the safe? No.
I don't want this to take the wrong direction here. But
All right, now it's learn how to break into safe.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if we were to just say, this
The
is
corners are the strongest.
no, this is the safe, right? This is our safe.
Okay.
Our door opens, right?
Yep.
And guys want to take pry bars, lay it down, and pop it off, and everything else, and you can do
Let
that.
me answer because I don't know the answer, but I want to.
Well, I don't know the answer either. We're just pretending here.
I would say
He says the corners are the hardest, but actually the corners do really well. If you take a Sawzall and you cut this corner, right? You just give it time. You get into this. You go to the right of it, a pretty good space. And then what you'll do is you'll bridge it like a V, like here. And then you can take a pry bar, lift it up, reach in, and pull everything out. You can do that with a Sawzall on almost any safe.
there you go.
There you go.
I have
Nothing
seen
is safe.
I have seen those like really cheap safes, and they just run a Sawzall around it, and they keep spinning it, and then it's in two pieces.
Darren, I just got your email. I'll check it in just a minute.
So
Check it out. Said I showed up at the right time.
what's up? Check it out. Looking at the McKinsey.
He says hammer the corner. We challenge safe. Look like the McKinsey brothers.
I bet you the back of the safe. So you usually see safes. It comes to fire rating. It's all basically drywall.
It's drywall, sheetrock.
And it depends how many layers they decided to put in there for 60 minutes, 45 minutes, half hour, whatever the case is. But the steel gauge, right?
Yep.
But I think they're always worrying about the whole front. The front's good and all the pins and bullshit. But I think if you can attack a safe, and that's the reason why they try to get it to fall over so they can start really prying at the shit. But if you're going to use a mechanical device like
Your safe
like
needs to be lagged to the
it
floor.
has to be. If you're going to do that though, I would attack it from the back because
Well, no. When it's like that and it's lagged to the floor, you do exactly what I said. You go on the corner, you cut it in through the top, and reach in and get it. That's how you do it. I'm just telling
when
you.
it's lagged in,
Yeah, because you don't need to move it. You just cut the top, like I was saying. You V it and you lift that up.
there you go. And then you reach in there and you grab all the rifles.
Yep.
All right. We're definitely going to get
The
Dan.
Viet Cong would just dig tunnels up under your basement. Yep, Yule says go on the top. ATF did it at Waco. Just cut through the side of the safe. Yep. And see, the thing is, cutting through the side, unless you're going to use like a big chop saw or something, like I said, that Sawzall, you're not cranking up an engine or anything else. You got a battery pack and just going in on that angle. It'll just grab it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Are most gun safes not rated as safes? Well, that's a good question. You've sold a few in your day.
Yeah, I actually used to deliver safes.
Yeah.
A long time ago, different part of, I guess, a different thing in my life. And I did replace, like what Eagle Size said, locks are easily to pick. Any combo style can be picked within 10 seconds. That is absolutely incorrect, Eagle Eye. You get a good Sergeant and Greenleaf combo. They're hard to get into, very hard to get into. I don't think you're going to get one in 10 seconds.
You're talking about a dial?
Yeah, even
you're talking about a
your
key?
best locksmiths. There's actually a machine that'll go on there to just run through the combinations. It takes a couple days, but it's not easy to get into some of the better ones. And
So
then if you
there's
try
a
to punch
machine
them,
that turns it and
Yep.
does all the
Yep.
different combinations?
yep. If you've forgotten everything, you've lost the serial number, you don't know how to get in the safe. There's actually a machine that will go in there and it'll run the dials. It can run up to 3 days, I think it is.
Holy shit.
And it'll run through every combination until it gets it.
How
There's
does
another thing too. A lot of them, a lot of people think you can just punch it out. Most of them have a drop in there. It's a drop bar. It's a deadbolt
yeah,
bar.
lock it.
And I think I might have shown you the inside of one of
I've
those
seen
like
one,
one time and how that works. So
What do you think's better? So you have the dial kind, and then you have the button kind.
Yep.
Now, here's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but the dial kind will wear out after so many openings. Because, they're basically gears in there, whatever you want to call them, where things are falling.
I've never worn out a safe.
But I have heard that those ones will wear out more than you guys, if you know, definitely put the answer out there. But the electronic ones, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know which one's easier to break into and all that kind of shit. That's a whole different other question. But I will say that.
Well, I used to retrofit them all the time.
You guys realize that my phone just dialed. Did I say the word 911?
I don't know, but it dialed 911.
It dialed 911. I was like, what the hell? So, I think we got it. We might be back. Holy heck.
Yeah, I see you back now. Holy crud.
Wow. Oh, shit.
Slide it over.
What,
Cancel.
this way? What the heck is going on?
Your button is probably being pressed on the side by your clamp. Yes, it's when it happens.
Yeah, but we sat here for hours.
Yeah, but it moved or something. So, yeah, that just happened, and it did it again.
The police department says, you have called 911. Is this an emergency? Oh, don't say it again. I don't know what the heck's going on. Well, that was pretty entertaining.
Said, LOL, we're talking about breaking safes, and all of a sudden they call the police.
Oh, man.
SOS enabled. Yeah, that just happened. It was like, oh, what's your emergency? He's like, oh, what's your name? And what's your last name?
I'm like, oh, crud. That's pretty cool.
Oh, somebody said you did say DIAL 9 and then the number uno, and that's why it picked up and did it probably.
Really? I don't know.
Oh,
that was scary.
Yeah, we're talking dangerous free speech stuff.
Man.
Well, I don't know. So I guess I missed something. I guess there's somebody on the internet or something that can pick a manual lock or something on a safe in like 10 seconds flat. I'm sure those people do exist, but that's not going to be your normal housebreaker, I wouldn't think.
There is people by touch.
But yeah, I know there is. And, you know, the thing is it's like somebody said earlier. You're only going to keep somebody honest out of there. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You break in here, you're going to be disappointed anyways. There ain't that much stuff in here.
Somebody says the algorithms.
Yeah, the algorithm. Something. I don't know. My heart rate got up a little bit. I'm like,
oh, he was freaking out.
I'm like,
that bar kept going, dial out. It said dial, and it was going, dick, 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 3,
I was like,
2, 1. And I was like, slide it over. And he slid it back over and it went, dick, all the way back over to 1 again.
I was like, no.
All right, we'll see you, Tim Davis.
Tim, have a great night.
All right, dang, it's almost midnight.
Is it
Any
really?
experience with zero compromise? No, Brian T. I've had a lot of people ask me about the zero compromise and the Tractoric. No experience with those. So, that's it.
If you have them.
Or if you have access to get one of those,
yeah,
and you
want
me to review it, what do you think?
Yeah,
Maybe.
we'll send it back. If you guys got anything cool that you want us to review, send it over and we'll send it back.
Craig Johnson, what do y'all think about Winchester 6.5 Creedmoor brass? Craig, I will tell you, if you're going to reload brass, okay, and no brass is bad brass. If it's factory brass like Hornady or Winchester, it's going to be good. It can be used.
Thinner walled.
But it's typically going to be thinner walled. You're not going to get as much or as many reloads out of it. I have strictly gone to Lapua personally, and it's expensive. It's very costly. And
so is
I don't even know if I told you guys the story. I was drying some Lapua brass.
This is a good story.
Okay, so
it sucks.
Somebody mentioned this earlier, and they were talking about what tumblers they use and everything else. I will never go back to a media tumbler, dry media tumbler ever. And I had some big Dillons and everything else. I gave almost all of that away. If you ever go to wet tumbling or use steel pens or just plain wet tumbling, you won't go back. I promise you're not going to go back. It's too fast. It's too efficient.
We've done the testing.
Yeah, a lot of people hated the testing. They're like, it wasn't fair. There's no comparison. Okay. Long story short. So I anneal my brass. I prep it.
No, you didn't.
The proper way, but when you anneal it,
Come on, go ahead, let it out.
And you have to dry it because I don't like spots on my brass. And so I put it in the oven, and I usually put it about 200 degrees for about 30 minutes, let it cool down, and I forgot about it, right? And it did. Well, my wife goes in to cook something, preheats the oven, and destroyed a lot of Lapua brass. Now, it might not be destroyed, but I don't want to take that chance, because I asked her how hot it got, and she said, it got up there, don't use it, I'll buy you new brass. I said, you don't want to buy me that brass. It was a whole cookie tray full of once-fired Lapua 6mm Creedmoor.
Yes. Okay, we got a couple things here. First off, Mac Eve.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Crack Eve because he says the Skittle Vomit Rifle will probably survive a robbery as long as the lights are working.
There you go. Okay, that's a good one.
There's another bonus. That is another bonus to having that rifle. And then, I got to say, Uncle Martin, Ronald Wilson says, Uncle Martin. Do you remember that? I think it was the show. The reason why I did this is I was thinking of that old TV show where the guy had...
That was Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian.
Yep.
That was Uncle Marvin, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I was actually thinking in my head. I did not know the name of that person, and you caught on to that. So kudos to you, my friend. Well done. Well done to get the subliminal question.
Applied Performance Shooting asks, I'm setting up a Tika 6.5 for my first PRS stock type rifle. What scope should I look at for $2,000? If somebody says $2,000, and I'm going to get a lot of feedback for, maybe some haters, I don't know. If you're going to spend $2,000, I'm going to recommend a Vortex Razor HD 4.5 to 27. I think for $2,000, it is hard to beat.
Yeah, you can't get that. Well, you can get that scope.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You can get it for $2,000.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people say, well, you're skipping over these scopes that are $50. It's not what he asked.
For $2,000.
For $2,000. We're not worried about Burris XTR3s or primary arms or any of that other stuff. If somebody said $2,000, that's probably the optic I would buy.
I just ordered it. Actually, I just ordered one the other day. So it'll be my third one. That's how much I like those. They are heavier than Night Force and some of the other ones. But the warranty is awesome. I mean, I consider those a huge investment. They're expensive, but when you have the ability to accidentally screw it up, even by your own stupidity, and they want to fix it, or they will fix it, or replace it, like there's no better, that's just awesome. I know there's other companies that have warranties like that, but this next scope that I ordered is the H59 reticle, and I went with that one because it has 2 tints. Where these other ones, the EBR2C reticles, which they don't make anymore, are only half mils.
I think.
Yeah, 7C is the newest one. The 7C is actually better than the EBR2C because I like the numbers on the outside of the tree. Yeah. But
Chocodile says, Ray, you must love that woman. Yes, I do. I don't normally talk about home or family life, but we've been married for 26 years now, and we might have had one argument in our entire life, and that was when we were really young. She doesn't give me a hard time about anything. Rick knows because...
Awesome lady.
I mean, she just doesn't give me a hard time about anything. I don't give her a hard time about anything, but I just wrote it off as it was my fault. I shouldn't have left it in the stove.
Let's have some fun.
There is no such thing.
All right. Here we go. You ready?
Oh, my phone just died, so I can't see the comments. I'm done. My phone's dead.
It's gone. Here you go. If you want, you can,
Charge it?
Charge it or plug it,
How do I do that?
I think this one's probably got enough juice in it now.
All right, have your fun.
Whoa!
Wow,
dang it. Shocking. Actually, there's a plug right here, thanks to Kreideman.
I'm good. Go ahead. Do what you're doing. Entertain.
So here's what I want to do. Let's do. I don't know who's gonna be right because I don't know his answer. And then what we're gonna do? Can you read the comments now?
No.
It's on.
No, not yet.
It's that dead.
Yeah.
All right. So in a few minutes we're gonna do some. Or do you need to get out of here? Are you good?
I'm good for now.
Okay. So let's have a little bit of fun. You guys are gonna get to know some things, like silly things about us, like what our favorite color is, just stupid stuff. But
They don't want to hear that.
But what it's gonna be is it's gonna be a guess to see who wins stuff.
Okay. What are you giving away?
A brand new. Shit, this damn beanbag is what I'm gonna give. And this thing has a zipper on the bottom right here, Ray. We can make a shooting pillow out of it. Look, I saw this because I threw the other one. There is a zipper here.
I dare you to take that to the match this weekend.
Use this as my pump pillow. It's not gonna be. I won't even be able to reach the trigger.
Yule, yes, I do need an EDC battery pack, and I do have one, but it's in the car, and because I had to go outside and go out to the top to get it, I'm not messing with it, so it's plugged into the wall. All right.
Here, like this.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I can sit right here.
Bam.
All right. Shall we play a game?
Shall we play?
What movie is that from?
War.
Not you dodo.
I got it right first. I win.
It's War?
Yeah.
That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
War.
Doesn't sound right now that I said it. War Games.
There you go.
Yeah!
Drew Bradley got it.
Oh, Drew Bradley got it before I did?
Yeah,
Son
a lot of
a-
guys got it.
Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. How about this? What movie is this one? Let's see. Let me see here. A bird will fall frozen dead from a bough without ever having felt sorry for itself. See if they get this right. Do you know the answer, Ray?
No. I used to know.
Yep. No, that ain't it. Yep, that's it. G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane. Nicely
Yep,
done.
that was from Grinding Dust.
The book? Oh, Grinding Dust. Was
Yeah.
the name of the person. Got it.
How about this one? I want my $2. I need to be combing my hair when I do that. That'll be a good one. There's enough older people in here that would know that.
I don't know the answer to that one.
I want my $2. My phone's so dead it won't even do this. Is that thing even on?
Yeah, it should be. Did it go bling? Let's try this plug. Gronneman! The hell?
Cool Hand Luke, nope. Super Troopers, nope. Yep, John Cusack movie. You're right. It is a John Cusack movie.
Who got it?
Nope. I gotta have the answer to it because I know the answer to it.
Drew's getting close.
That ski movie, yes, you're getting warmer. What is the name of it?
We gotta get up here so I can see this.
I want my $2. This is good. I actually stumped him for once.
That's pretty good because you don't even know any movies.
Hot Tub Time Machine, nope. Ski Patrol, nope.
Damn, I don't know this one. Ski Patrol.
Nope. I can't believe it. 44 people in here.
I gave the answer a minute ago. Mike D says.
Mike D gave the answer to that one. I want my $2 already a minute ago. He might have.
He might have
my
his
phone's. We're looking at
let me
on
go
his.
back. Let me go back. Hold on. Mike D.
Mike D, it never registered if you
I-
gave the
I
answer
don't
to
see
that
it,
one.
Mike D.
Nope, not in there.
Nope. Ain't seeing it.
Nope. He said, Bradley said he gave the answer. Dumb and Dumber, nope. That would be us.
Buff Randy.
So-
Yeah, that would be us. Change YouTube from top chat to all chat.
Okay, got it right here. It is. I gave the answer a minute ago. No, not seeing it.
How do you do change YouTube from?
You just go into the side where it's the edit thing. No, I'm still not seeing the answer. He drives a 68 Camaro and he cannot remember the name of the doggone movie.
I don't know the name of the movie.
The name of the movie is
Better
Off Dead.
Oh, somebody just Mike D said it again.
Yep.
Man, his answer just showed up. Better, dead, retyped oddly.
Hey, Mike D says YouTube is censoring me.
Damn YouTube.
That's it. That was it.
Let's see. How about
What band
Oh, not band.
had the song Bitchin' Camaro? Since somebody said 68 Camaro.
Bitchin' Camaro?
Bitchin' Camaro. You don't know that song?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that song.
All right.
I'm being Censored. YouTube censors on the loose.
Ferris Bueller guy. Nope.
Bueller.
Seriously, I implore you two fellows to do a constitutional bill rights video chat soon. Nothing more matters. True story. Sex
Is that
Pistols.
Truth Freeze? Who was that? Truth
It
Freeze?
is punk rock, or it would have been skater way back in the day, but
That's like,
no, Mike D, we did not see that answer a few times on this end.
didn't Mike D? The last
Oh,
time we did-
he's oh my goodness.
He's got it?
He got it.
Oh, the
Dead Milkman. That's it.
Now, we talked about this before.
Yeah, because we had Corey in the car with us. He's like, what are you guys talking about?
Oh, man. I tell you what, if you want to hang out with someone like, how much younger is he? 20 years?
Oh, he's a lot
30
younger.
years. 25 years younger than us.
I'm giving my background away. How I grew up.
Being old.
Yeah, exactly.
And we kept saying all these sayings, and he's just there. He's looking at us.
Somebody said, don't be Googling it. Somebody probably
Oh,
did. Yeah,
yeah.
somebody might be Googling it.
Just ignore it, Rick. How about all I want
All right.
was a Pepsi?
Yeah, and she wouldn't give it to me. I'm sure
Mike,
they know
you're
that
on
song.
drugs.
I'm sure they.
They probably.
I'm sitting in my room. My mom and my dad come in.
No, Mike, I didn't see it either. Craig Johnson says, "Yeah, it didn't pop up. You've been Googleized. You've been Googleized.
Yeah.
Googly, googly.
Wonder if anybody gets that song without Googling it.
Which one? The one I
you
just said?
Yeah.
All I wanted was a Pepsi. She wouldn't give it to me. What matters more, bullet range, scripts, or rights? Come on, Truth Freeze. What do you want to know? Tell me what you want to know. What do you want me to answer? I'll answer whatever you want, buddy. I ain't gonna do another video on it, but you tell me. You tell me a great googly moogly. That's right. The
Truth Reason says scopes.
scopes.
Mike D says, thanks for the responses. Now, I know for a fact why some of my comments never get any response. And Mike D, until you started commenting there, we didn't see him in the chat.
No.
On anything. So,
No, when you had popped up the one time, which was the time that
chat
you
on
said,
Constitution and pandemic. That's what
Pandemic.
Tooth Freeze is asking.
all right, when it has to do with the pandemic, I think, is just as normal as pretty much the flu that we have every year, within some reasons. Ever since COVID had started, there hasn't been one person that has died of anything other than COVID for the most part when it comes to hospitals. I mean, I've been on calls where the guy has fatally died in a car accident due to hitting another car or hitting a light post or hitting a tree. And for some reason, if you go back, basically they died of COVID. So the influx of numbers being related back to COVID is, I think, multiplied and magnified by whatever number you want to call it. I think it's, hypersensitive, basically. Everything is about COVID right now. Nobody dies of anything else. Now, you got people that die of diabetes, heart problems, all the normal stuff everybody was dying of prior to COVID. So I think that's not that it's not real. There's a thing out there where you can get sick and all that kind of stuff, but so was everything else. Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm not a doctor, nor do I want to be a doctor. But prior to the COVID, there was people that died previously before COVID, and there's going to be people that die after COVID's all gone. So that's my reasoning behind it. When it comes to the Constitution is what we have. It's our, between the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, it's our God-given, and me and Ray have argued about this. Not so much argued, but had good conversations about it. To use the word God-given is kind of a thing, but I think for every
expand on that. God-given. God didn't give us that rights. Man gave us that rights. Think about it. There's nothing in the Bible about God giving us rights for guns. I don't know why people say that. My God-given right. And I never get on politics.
Yeah,
I never
it's
get on this topic, but I will. Occasionally will catch me in the right the mood here. But
So what he's saying is right. You always hear the word or the terminology of God-given right, meaning unalienable rights that we have, right? And women, but you know what I mean. As far as all the amendments, and you've heard this from a billion people, but the Second Amendment is the one that protects all the other amendments as well. Obviously, if we didn't have the right to fight back from a tyrannical government, we would no longer have any of our rights. As a gun enthusiast, as a law-abiding citizen, I'm doing stuff that is law-abiding because to get through the normal civilization, the world is how we know it, and with the state rules and the legislation from the federal and the state, and how the state really is supposed to run the feds when it comes to like laws per se. I don't agree with some of that. Like the California, they decided that a 10-round magazine is safer than a 30-round magazine. Well, I don't believe any of that bullshit. None of them, a 10-round magazine isn't any safer than a 30-round magazine. So I believe that some of the state laws I don't like because they're just stupid laws designed by stupid people, and it doesn't have anything to do with safety. But as far as Constitution and like, you have people that are like, I'm basically I think of it as the silent minority that just sits there, and I say minority, not majority, but I'm the silent guy that I'm not gonna respond to something that there's no response needed at this time of talking about it. I'm not a guy that's gonna sit on YouTube, which here I am doing it, but I'm not going to give you those answers that people, they want you to hear, and they want you to tell, how badass you are, and if this is going to happen, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to grab my kits, and I'm going to run around, and all this stuff. That's not what this channel is about. Not to say that I wouldn't do it, but you're not going to hear me talking about stuff
same
like that.
here. I'm never going to use my channel as a platform to try to get more viewers by talking about politics and instilling this. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I've done to prepare myself. I just wonder when, and I'm really speaking out of turn here because I don't talk about this stuff, but I'm not on my channel, so it's okay. I just wonder, when is enough enough? When are enough people going to finally get together and say this has been enough? When is there going to be another, Boston Tea Party? When are we going to have had it up to here? Okay, we'll all do what we could do to protect ourselves, but I feel like there's definitely too much overreach with the government. I don't agree with any of the things with regards to NFA. Us not having machine guns, we should be on that equal level. No, we'll never be able to have tanks. We'll never be able to have the armament that our military does.
No.
It's gotten beyond that, but when do we say it's been enough? When do we enough? And it's all about communication. They shut down the communication. How do we all speak, organize, and do what we need to do? Because there's strength in numbers. And if you look at it statistically, I'm all about numbers. If you look at it statistically, in any town, the citizens are going to be far more superior in manpower than any law enforcement agency or any type of National Guard because of the amount of people in the United States.
Correct.
But that is something that would have to be organized. When would the word get out? If they shut down media and everything, you know what? This is why I don't talk about it. I'm just going to stop right there.
I'll have to agree. Now I will say before we end that portion of it,
Ramsey Country, I'm going to agree with you. He says, I'm sorry, Ray, but that's why that's why they, Democrats, want us segregated, so we can't form a big enough group for that. And I believe there is a lot of truth to that. And if you think about everything that they control, we're media right now, right? But, they can shut us down. They can demonetize. They can shut down the channel.
They made me dial a phone number that I don't want to dial.
Yeah, and that's it. And then once you lose that line of communication, think about cell phones and everything like that. what would you do then? Very few people have landline phones. How do people organize, you know? And it's like, well, I don't see them doing that. What are they going to do? They're going to go door to door. Well, how are you going to know they're going door to door if communication
There's no
is
communication.
lost? And then it's getting everybody together for that. But there are strength in numbers. I think how many freaking ARs are there in the United States now? Like 15 million?
It's an amazing amount.
Yeah, it's an ungodly amount.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically being able to.
You're,
Talking Rock says he still has a landline.
there you go. You'll be
Yeah.
the only one talking about the. What he's saying is true. And when I was in California, we had a lot of things we had to worry about between earthquakes and just normal natural disaster stuff. I had quite a few buddies from the fire service. You got to remember, when I worked for the state of California, there was a lot of firefighters. So we had a lot of ways of communicating, via just phone numbers. And we came up with a plan. There was a small group of us, and we had a place where we knew we were going to go if there was a major emergency and a disaster kind of thing, and basically shit hit the fan kind of deal. And we all had this little plan together. And when you have the ability to have that and have a plan set forth prior to an emergency, but let me go back a ways. I think when you're with what you guys are seeing and how you guys are thinking, it's just like everything that happens right now. You've seen it happen over the last 4 years. You got riots in large cities, right? So as a firefighter, all you have to do is look for the smoke. So the smoke is basically where the riots are. And I'm keeping it very simple, but it's the truth. Things will happen. So depending on if you're in a large city, you're not in a safe place. But when you're in a smaller community, but you see, through a distance, you see the whole city on fire.
Yep.
That's called a clue.
That's called a clue.
That's called a clue that
yep.
shit is going on. So you don't need communication for that. But to be more prepared and that kind of stuff, those are the signs you're looking for. Watching different things happening as they're going on in the world or within the United States, those are called clues. But we try not to really talk about this kind of stuff.
TB, let me stop you there. TB says we are very close to a civil war because the people are all tired of it. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with you on that. I think that's something that could possibly happen within the next year. I really do. I mean, just looking at the way things are going. Truth Free says start networking in community. This is a good one right here. Mike D says 15 minutes on record. I haven't said anything that's negative. I'm just, like I said, we're talking about what would happen, but it's 15 minutes on record that we're talking about these politics because we wonder, we know what's going on in the community right now, and somebody says ham radio. You know that ham radios think. And I've heard this before, but I think California is trying to do away with ham radio. Ham radio operators, I don't know how that's working, but there was something that I read about it. Food for thought. If you really want to learn more about this, please watch Death of a Nation. Watch it and keep an open mind. That's good information, Ramsey. You guys should read the 1 Second After series. Makev, I've read that. I read that when that actually first came out, and they actually have a second part of that. And, it's you have 1 second after, like the day after something. It's a great series. I was so wrapped up in that, and it was hard for me to set that book down, especially because it was set in Western North Carolina. Based around the Black Mountain area. It does hit close to home. Talking about EMPs.
It was a very good book.
Yeah, it really was a really good book. Part of where I live and how I live, I got out of the city.
Smart.
Yeah, I don't want to be around big groups because I can see those smoke signals that you're talking about.
Yep.
But you're not going to be able to do it on your own, okay? Everyone knows that. You'll be able to survive a little while on your own, but you're not going to be able to withstand any type of mass attack on your location.
No, there's no way you can secure a location or even have time to bed down to properly get sleep if you don't have some manpower. Now, I will say the thing about friends is, right, I believe that you don't want 100, like close, not close isn't the right word, 100 normal, like kind of buddies. You want a small group of really best friends. I've always felt that way because I'll always do something for, friend X because I classify them as a friend or a brother. instead of an acquaintance. Acquaintances aren't going to get much attention, or nor would I bend over backwards for them. But you know, there's a very small few where that changes, and I think that's the same as you have to be able to trust these people even when there's utter chaos going on, right? You don't want to ever have to worry about this guy going nuts and turning around and you know taking you know what I mean? You know, I don't want to say it on TV, but YouTube, but
you know, I'm not a big TV watcher, but what it'll turn into is The Walking Dead. It's going to be big clusters of groups of communities that have gotten together, that have banded together, and whoever's got the most power, they're going to have that control.
Yeah.
You know, a scenario like that, and like I said, I don't watch that series, but I know what it's about.
I watch quite a bit of them.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't watch any TV, so that's
I used
the thing.
to use it as a training, like what they would think of as basically what would happen if that was to appear.
Yeah, Yule Adams, exactly.
What does it say?
So we have drones now. A war here would level everything. Any group would be spotted. That's exactly right. You're not going to get away from the technology. They've far surpassed, you know, what we have as civilian. Can we put up resistance? Yes, we can. It would be no different than
Al-Qaeda.
our wars and Al-Qaeda. I mean, you've got the best in the world that are meeting tons of resistance, and they're still taking, you know, soldiers, you know, when all this was hot and heavy, that have drones, that have the best night vision, the best thermals, the best Bradleys, the best you name it. But a lot of that, I think, is going to fall back to politics, rules of engagement, things like that. But there's enough people
You have to get the U.S. Army people, and I mean Army meaning
to
all
side
branches,
on that
to,
side.
to want to fire upon their own families and friends and
Same for law
Americans.
enforcement. Same for law
Same for
enforcement.
law enforcement.
Let's just say I don't even know what they have over here, but let's say they have 100 police officers over here in this town over here.
80 of
And
them.
they say go door to door and collect the guns. They're probably going to have 20,
20 people,
maybe
out of
15.
100, yeah. So
They probably
20%.
and those will be the ones that won't make it long. But I think you'll see this mass exodus. And you got to remember, even with military, you're going to have guys that leave, but they still know how to do what they did and what they do in the military.
Oh, yeah.
And once they can get that equipment or get those planes and get those tanks and all of that, that's when the face of it will change.
Exactly, because those people have flown the tanks, ever driven the tanks,
Yep.
flown the planes, the helicopters, and then back to an even playing field. Well, it's the same thing with any natural disaster, right? If I'm sitting at the fire station, I'm worried about my family because all the roofs collapsed in and I can't get a hold of my wife or kids. Those guys don't give two shits about. They want to know if their family's safe or not, right? So
Yeah.
they're same with police officers. They got, you know, they have just as much, if not more, invested in the family and want to make sure they're safe. So those people aren't going to be running around trying to save people. They're going to be checking on their family as well.
Yeah, and +5 says, thing about Civil War these days is many civilians are veterans with special skill sets. So we're thinking on the same track
Yeah.
here. I think most of us are going to be pretty
trained-
much like-minded. And we
trained
are
people.
having an open discussion, but that's exactly what it is. And, you know, let's see here. Where was it at? I got to find it. He talked about 8 people in this group. Hold on.
Dog can trust some people.
I can't find it.
Well, that's a great thing too. While you're looking for it, is having the ability to secure your property via trained guard dogs or some type of alert systems, lights. There's so much that you can do just on a normal everyday basis kind of thing. You know, and we everybody wants to buy all these guns and stuff, and I mean, how do you can't blame them, right? But it's what about everything else, like maybe cameras or some type of surveillance lighting systems that turn on or record something. You know, there's a lot of layers to being able to protect your home, like keeping clear brush from around where, you know, bad guys can hide right behind stuff. Whatever the case is, there's tons of things we should do just on a normal everyday basis.
Motorboater says the majority will follow orders. Watch the body cam footage from the Bundy standoff. But after a
I've seen
few
that.
comrades fall, they will second guess what they are doing. It depends on what they're being asked to do. I think there's so many patriots that believe in the Second Amendment that I believe that you would not see that just follow the orders. I believe we feel strongly enough about that to where
You'll see a bigger percentage, but
Yeah.
there's gonna be those.
Yep.
Whatever that.
Yeah, okay, so
percentage is.
Ramsey Country said Drew deleted that. I saw that. That's why I couldn't find it. Basically,
What was
and
it?
I guess it's okay to repeat it, but basically, people, you know what? I'm not going to go there. But if somebody were to, let's say they've been prepping and all this, and people were like, hey, you're crazy, and, what have you been doing? And then now they're seeing this. They're seeing there's no guns. They're seeing there's no ammo because it's all being bought up and everything else.
Yeah.
And if somebody reaches out to you for assistance, do you help them? Was it their lack of preparation? Was it those guys that were making fun of you because you weren't ready? I mean,
You would take in now. So here would be my answer. You would take in consideration what you have available, and not meaning food supply. That would be one thing, and water and all that other bullshit, Band-Aids, beans, and bullets. But it's, do you need an extra body to look out? Maybe
Correct.
the
because
back.
like I said, there's strength in numbers. If
Yeah,
you think
so-
you're going to find a stronghold and you're going to protect this house, and let's
By
say you've
myself-
been preparing for 10 years,
No.
and he's got water for 5 years, and he's got this and that, he's not going to be able to do it by himself. Okay, all it's going to take is some knucklehead over here with a Molotov, and somebody over here, and you're like, well, you just shoot him first. Well, he doesn't have a window over here, over there. He's not going to see it. You can't guard 4 corners of a house if you're by yourself. Well, can
Correct.
2 people? Yeah, but eventually somebody's got to sleep.
Somebody's gotta sleep.
You've got to have that community to help you, and it's not going to be. You got to be mobile. You're not going to be able to just take a stronghold. You get enough people, you're going to be overrun. It's plain and simple.
Well, see, and that's the thing about. I did a video years back about burying guns. And people are like, if you're burying guns, it is at a point where you're supposed to use them, and it's not. It's not that you bury every gun you own. I mean, I have guns that I haven't touched in held years, right? Now having those buried somewhere, with a bunch of ammo sitting there, that is an option of I'm at Ray's house and I try to come home, and all of a sudden my house is completely surrounded by a bunch of bad dudes, and I'm like, I guess I'm screwed, because how are you going to take on 15 bad guys by yourself, right? So you're like, okay, well now I have nothing from my house. But because I prepared, I have something stashed in the woods somewhere, buried, And then they're like, well, what if some kid comes across this? It's like, come on, this thing, is buried in the ground. But it's like, everybody has like these weird things. Like if you have to go find your gun, shit's gonna happen. You may have went to the grocery store, came back, all of a sudden just hell in a handbasket broke out, and you're not able to get to your supplies. You have to have, the whole, what's the egg thing and the basket deal? Don't keep all your eggs in one basket.
Talking Rock says my night vision video woke him up, and that's the thing is, you're not going to be able to, and I know I hit on this a minute ago. You're
gotta
not
own
going
the
to be
night.
able to stay in one place. You've got to be able to move. Those of you that are in high occupancy areas, downtown areas, all of those, I feel for you because that's going to be tough. You've seen it, the riots. They don't riot in a little town that has, a McDonald's and a Hardee's and there's nothing else there, okay? You're going to see the bigger riots and things happening in these bigger cities. And that's that smoke he was talking about. And we would be slim pickings if we are out in the middle of nowhere. If you're in, deep in the woods or something like that. Now, eventually somebody's going to know your position. You're running a generator, you're doing whatever, but you've got to be able to move and relocate. You're not going to just be able to just sit there and think it's all going to go away. It won't go away. Cut off food supplies to all Dempsey. We're getting a lot of comments now. I'm trying to keep up. Dems don't have guns, can't fight.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah,
Don't-
you would be
don't-
surprised. You really would be.
Dog it.
Yeah, looting at some McDonald's. Yep.
I need the cord. Have you
All
got
right.
any battery left on yours?
I'm in the red still, but here,
see.
ready?
We'll just
Go.
keep swapping them
We'll
over.
just keep swapping.
I
We're
can't-
having to do the
What the hell?
tag teaming here.
Could just go get a damn other
All right, Ramsey Country, you have a good night.
Have a good
He
night.
said, "Death of a Nation, watch it." This is something that I'm not going to say I prepared for, but I knew it was coming. I'm not saying it's indefinitely coming, but
It could happen.
I think the chances are likely now it could happen
more
within the next few months than any other time, depending on how this whole thing goes with Trump and Biden and the ramifications of all. Regardless, it doesn't matter who wins or who loses. It's going to be a lose-lose.
Correct.
Because one side is going to do something or other. I don't know. I mean,
I think it's more likely that they're going to figure out the votes.
Yep.
Trump's going to win, which I hope he does. But now you're going to have the left being super pissed, right? They were already dickheads, assholes, and all that stuff, you know, with the rioting and looting and all that other stuff that they were doing, just with normal everyday kind of stuff. Now they're going to go completely just bonkers and just start doing really stupid stuff. And that's... I don't know.
So
That's
you
my
know,
thoughts.
Icehouse, you know, he says he's been stocking, you know, ammo all summer. He's got plenty of ammo. You can only carry so much. You can only hold your ground for so long. Okay, so let's just say, you know, at some point you're gonna have to leave that house. What's to keep you from getting taken out? You know, let's say someone has the experience and they have the long range ability to take you out the minute you step your head out the door. You know, those are things that you're not going to be able to do by yourself. Doesn't matter if you've got, you know, let's just pretend this guy's got, not you, but let's say some guy's got, you know, a machine gun, and let's say it's belt fed.
Doesn't matter.
You can't see, you can't hit what you can't see or know what's out there. And that's the scary part, you know, because there are a lot of shooters, good and bad side. It's a lot to take on.
Let me tell you what I learned when I went to that night match. When the guys with nods were on nods, and all you heard was the firing of guns and it hitting steel, and you didn't see anything, I was like, holy crap. Like, I don't think, you have to own the night. I was like, man, I need a pair of those. Like, it's amazing piece of technology that definitely brings your game up. You know, like video games where you like level up or whatever. Like having MBGs and being able to see in the night definitely steps your game up.
Mike D said, would you ever get in a car and drive on a highway in this type of situation to get to other locations? Absolutely not. Main thoroughfares are going to be cut off, blocked off. It's an easy way to get ambushed. If you can get ahead of it.
Yeah, it depends on
If you can get ahead of it to get to a location, then possibly. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't take much to stop a vehicle or, you know, to basically stop your path.
Takes one guy with a friggin' scope.
Well, not even that. You take a major interstate, you drop trees all over it. How are you getting around it with your vehicle? It doesn't matter if you got the biggest, baddest, you know, four-wheel drive, whatever. You're stopped and you're stationary now, and you're a target, especially if it was already planned.
That was one of our plans. That was one of our plans. I think he told you that plan where we were going to drop trees all the way up that hill.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in California.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to be able to keep. Then you only had to worry about the residents that were that were at home at the time. I was awakening my Polaris Ranger. Oh, it was awakening. Thanks for the confirmation and other things that I've never ever thought about. There's a lot of things. Just take a certain emergency. Let's just call it. We always used to use earthquake in California because all the bridges fall, right? So no big rigs, no trains, no supplies of resources, no ins, no outs. So what you have is what you have. And what do you have? Like the grocery stores have 2 days, and then it's done. There's no food, there's no water. You've seen it, plenty of pictures, I'm sure. So all that's done, you know. And you got a family, and you didn't have supplies, and now you're screwed. Now this is the part where I always call them zombies. So zombie is a word that you see within, you know, Walking Dead and all that kind of stuff. And this is some bacterial thing that made a zombie. No. Think of a zombie as a normal, perfect, normal guy. But now that normal, perfect guy, he's not looking for brains, right? He's looking for food.
Your stuff.
He's looking for your stuff so that he can feed his family. Now, normal, law-abiding people, when tasked with trying to keep their family alive due to no water, no food, whatever the case is, and they're so destined to find that product in order to bring it home, is a zombie. They're going to do whatever it takes, whether it's kill you, so be it, whatever the case is, in order to accomplish their goal of bringing food back to their family.
Somebody said zombies equal leftards. It's no different when they occupied the area and they ran out of food. What were they doing then? Now you got to bring us food.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
the thing.
exactly
They're going to go out looking for your stuff. And
they're going to steal your shit.
Yeah, I mean, and the way a lot of people think about it is I don't need to stockpile 10 million rounds of ammunition. I just need enough to take your shit.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple fact. That's the way it is.
That is it.
And you can do that for so long as a sole individual, but the key is groups. The key is communication. It's organization.
Good night, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, we'll see it.
Carlos Hancock. It's a true fact. If a normal law-abiding citizen will turn into a not so law-abiding
Everybody's
citizen.
leaving. They're saying we're up too late. We just lost 3 or 4.
We are up
Yeah,
late.
it is 12:30. Zombies need toilet paper too. Yeah, they do need toilet paper, but after a while you get beyond that, you'll just be using foliage and do whatever you got to do to survive.
See, that's the bad thing about living in the desert.
Yeah, there is no
There's
foliage.
no
You get a
foliage.
cactus.
You got to use
It's sand.
a rock.
Watch the movie Eli. I have seen that.
Yep. That's a big city kind of thing, though.
Yeah, Indian left hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, Truth Freeze, you've said it
What's
a couple
up,
times, but it's definitely networking. And honestly, isn't that what we're doing here?
We are.
So who knows how long we'll have YouTube? Who knows how long we'll be able to keep doing, gun stuff or gun-related stuff. You can see how they try to control it. And they don't want it out there because that is the great equalizer.
It is the great
It
equalizer.
is the great equalizer.
Always has been.
There's always strength in numbers.
105-pound lady and be just as badass to a 240-pound muscle man.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Let's see.
Yep. Charles Tippy says, I'll be the first to say, shit hits the fan, I'll do what I have to do to take care of me and mine. And Charles Tippy, that is what everyone else will do. That's exactly, we all will have that mindset. And so that's why when Rick was saying earlier, you got to make sure that you've aligned yourself with people that aren't after your stuff. That I don't have to worry about him knocking me out in the back of the head or taking a bullet to the brain because of how I've prepped and he's my buddy. Okay, well, he's got all this, he's got that. And yeah, I'm going to take his shit. You got to know your network of people.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was pretty interesting was, you guys may have heard of the channel Hank Strange. He's a larger channel. But what he did was, he actually does a very good job of setting up emails. So if YouTube is to ever go down, he has the ability to contact large numbers of people that are, that are interested in the same type of mindset. And those emails, that's if there is email, and it doesn't go down. But he has ways of communicating with other people via different routes, and that's smart. That's something that is something that's good. Say you had right now, you went on a small trip. Say you went to California, right?
Yep.
The possibility of you getting back home would be an utter nightmare trying to get back home, right? All your family's here. This was one of the things that used to worry me living in North Carolina but working in California.
If something big happens, you're not getting back home.
I'm screwed. Yeah.
You're not getting
back
home.
It doesn't matter if I steal a car, right? I can't steal a plane because I don't know how to fly a plane, a bus or any of that stuff. So how long that adventure would take. If I was driving 24 hours a day, it would still take me like 2.5 days to get across. So it would be utterly impossible to get here.
Yeah, it would be. Even if you know how to fly a plane, you still got to refuel.
Yeah.
You're not going to get in a little fixed wing plane and make it all the way across from California to here.
Everybody says you should always get your airplane license.
Yeah, not happening. The
I'd have to
logistics
fill
behind
up
that. So you got to be where you need to be.
Yep.
Got to have what you got to have, and just be as prepared as you can be, and network. Know those people.
So, and that's kind of the thing, though. Like, So with YouTube, there's people that we know. Like we could go to Eagle Eye. So now we're in Arizona. We made it to Arizona. Maybe he's got something that'll help us get to the next state, and then we can meet up with. So having stuff like that. So YouTube is pretty cool when it comes to that. It helps.
Yeah, because you know people from all over.
Yep. Know people from all over.
I know somebody in California other than you.
Oh yeah.
You know, I know where he lives. I mean, I know, you know, and these are people that I've met through YouTube, had no clue, and it's these little pockets of like-minded people. Yes.
What was the one that says you guys are doing good or something?
You guys are doing good. You brought me north of Dayton, Ohio.
There you go. So
Rick, make it to Arizona, hitch a ride with some illegals. Immediate neighborhood community plus immediate.
There you go. But I don't know. I think we chatted long enough. We're at like 2 hours or some shit.
This is a weird one.
This was
definitely
definitely
a
a
weird
weird
for me
one.
anyway.
Oh, for sure. I don't usually get all crazy. Well, I get crazy.
Well,
but
what's weird, you know, for me, and you guys don't know this about me, I don't keep many friends. I really don't. I have a small group of people that I know that I hang out with, and that's pretty much it. You know, people that I can trust, people that I can truly call my friends, that I don't have to worry about taking a bullet to the back of the head, or at least I hope.
Yep.
Dick. All right. Well, you guys.
Weird but great.
Yeah. You guys have a great evening. I can't believe I stayed over here this long.
It was a good night.
I gotta do a bunch of stuff tomorrow.
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. We got quite a few thumbs up. So if you didn't hit the thumbs up yet, it doesn't matter. You guys have a great night. See you on the next one. Look at John Jeffries out there. What up? K24. All you guys out there, pleasure. Thanks for Truth Freeze. This is all on your ass, by the way. So I'm blaming Truth Freeze for this one. And Josie Wells, I don't know if you sent me an email. Jason, I don't know if you're still watching. I'll look for your email again. And you guys take care. Hope you enjoy.
See you.
See you on the next one. And goodbye.